equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harmon Solar Podcast at harmonsolar.com.
The road to better health leads to my longtime friends, Dr. William Gaspar and his wife Ava at Beehive IV Wellness in Chandler. J.D. Hayworth here, and the buzz about Beehive is spelled out in its middle name. IV. Not only are today's popular treatments available, IV hydration, joint injections, semaglutide for weight loss, as well as many more, it's also the Gaspar's holistic naturopathic approach that helps your body with self-healing. That means treating the underlying causes of chronic disease, from chronic fatigue to fibromyalgia, even those dealing with Lyme disease and lupus. The experienced medical staff designs a customized plan for each patient. So walk in or make an appointment today. Mention my name, J.D. Hayworth. Get half off your first treatment. Better health awaits you at Beehive IV Wellness in Chandler. Search Beehive IV Wellness on your cell phone. And remember, you'll thrive at Beehive.
My pain is considerable, but that prescription is dangerous.
The side effects of my medicine are worse than my condition.
I'm in recovery. I can't take those pills.
When faced with a health crisis, you shouldn't have to choose between risks.
At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves immediate physical symptoms without having you take a bunch of pills. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
We're completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Tuesday here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow, but we got Keon Rose in the control room. You guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. We have many things to talk about. We're not going to probably start with I think we're going to start with Monday Night Football. I mean, it wasn't that good.
It went exactly how you thought it was going to go.
Yeah, I mean, it was slightly entertaining and interesting at times. I'll be honest. I turned away to the Suns game at 7:00, and then I came back during halftime for a little bit to see the end of the game. And I just was short. Maybe we had a shorter halftime in the NBA because I think I probably would have rather keep watching that instead. But whatever. The most important thing is Suns won. That's all that mattered. It was an ugly game. It was back and forth a lot in the fourth quarter. And so the Suns had to climb back in it, in the second quarter after the Lakers went up big on them right away. It was like I don't know. It was like they used the same script from the first game. They just switched which team was which team, I guess. But, hell, LeBron James didn't even have a basket or even an attempt early on in the game. It's just the Lakers just went off on the Suns, had good rhythm, and that was the end of that. until it wasn't. And then the Suns came back, did the same thing. I don't know what was up with Nurkic. He just had a great game last game. This game, he stunk. But,
Hit anything.
it happens. It's like what, the fourth game?
Yeah, it happens, but he has been really inconsistent shooting threes. And just the way that Budenholzer likes his centers to play, you're going to have to do a better job of that because it seems like he's kind of losing a little trust in Nurkic there. So we'll see how that continues to develop. But
where else are you going to go? If you can't trust Nurkic,
they played a smaller ball lineup with Ryan Dunn out there, and Dunn can just switch on to anybody. He's the rookie. He did actually a really good job late in the game down the stretch. And then, Plumlee's been giving them at least the defense. He isn't giving them the scoring, but he's been a better defender and a more consistent defender as well. So that's probably where they wind up going a little bit more, splitting between both of those guys.
Well, I mean, yeah, we could probably do better, but still could trade maybe.
Yeah, you could still trade because it's not like Nurkic is suddenly bad. It's just what the team asked him to do last year, he was better at than what Budenholzer's asking him to do this year. So maybe you just find a guy that fits a little bit better, even if he's not quite as good. If he does what you want your offense to do, that could work out probably better for the Suns.
Well, it worked out enough last night that they were able to eke out a win over the Lakers. So now, they each got a win and they each got a loss. And both losses for both teams come from each other. So, again, so early, it doesn't matter. We don't even have to watch these games right now. You know what I mean? It's fun to watch. But I'm just saying, none of this is going to matter. It's all a numbers game, and I'm not going to be too uptight about nothing. And I certainly don't care about what they call the mid-season tournament.
Yeah, I don't care about that. But I do think that the early games especially kind of matter because, this is where your team's coaching staff is trying to figure out who are the guys that they're really rolling with. Who do they trust? What are the lineups that work the best? What are the rotations that make the most sense? And you can see that stuff develop as you watch the games. I like that. It's not necessary if you think your team is a playoff team already and you just assume they're going to be there. But it is nice to see, especially if you have a brand new coach and new players on the team and you're trying to figure out, well, what the hell is my team even doing?
What did you watch last night? Did you watch the Suns or did you watch just the Monday Night Football?
I was at a bar, actually, so I watched them both.
Oh, at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to go. So which one did you pay more attention to?
I ended up paying more attention to the football game early. But once we got into the second half of the Suns-Lakers game, that's the one that I ended up looking at the most.
Mm-hmm.
Once the Steelers kind of pulled away and it just felt like, that game's
handled.
over. Yeah, Giants are done. Then I focused a whole lot more on the Suns and the Lakers after that.
All right, so let's get your take on our new point guard. Is he coming as advertised? How do you feel about Tyus Jones?
Yeah, I think he's the player he's advertised to be. He goes out there, he gets other players involved. He gets the assists going, which I think is
not
huge.
really. He only had 5 assists last night and 7 points.
Yeah, but I don't think
31 minutes.
I don't think that does a very good job of explaining what kind of player Tyus Jones is. Like when I say he got the assist going, I think I mean more than just himself. He got things going for everybody else. Being unselfish and being able to make the play, to make the pass that is going to be an open shot a second pass later, you're not going to get credit for that. There is no stat in the NBA for that, right, the way you have in hockey, that Tyus Jones helps to set these things up. He helps to initiate the offense, and you see these shots for Booker and Durant and Beal are easier shots than the shots that they were getting last year.
So who do you think they should trade away to get another good piece?
I don't know. I just feel like it's going to probably have to be just straight up Nurkic for somebody, because he seems to be the guy that's losing favor, and maybe he can get back into that circle.
How are we going to get anything for him? You know what I mean? It's got to be with what, picks?
Well, it can't be, because the Suns are over the second apron. So yeah, you're not allowed to use picks to match anything or sweeten the deal there. The contracts have to perfectly match when you trade. So that's a whole.
So it's not likely we're going to end up with anything.
Probably not, but I do think that there is a possibility if you're willing to find a center that is not quite isn't quite as high in reputation as Nurkic is generally in the league, but you're willing to get a guy that's a better fit for you specifically, because that's really what it's going to come down to is, are we trading for somebody who can specifically come in and do what Mike Budenholzer wants, which is to play solid man-to-man defense and then knock down some threes occasionally to stretch the floor and give the space to that offense.
Who is that person out there?
It's funny because I was talking about this with Dylan earlier, and I like Miles Turner is like a really, really great option because he kind of fits exactly what it is that Budenholzer would like. I just don't know if you could get him away from the Pacers. I think the same thing for Brook Lopez with the Bucks, who is a guy that didn't have a great 3-point shooting game, and then Mike Budenholzer turned him into that guy so that his offense could run that way.
Wait a second. Could Budenholzer turn Nurkic into that guy? Can he coach Nurkic into what we need?
Maybe, but I don't know that you can do it in the middle of a season. Like that's usually like, guy goes away, comes back after the off season, and then his skill set has increased a little bit. Once you're in the season, the extra work that you have on things that you're not particularly good at, the time for that kind of reduces, obviously, because you're dealing with games. You're also having to recover from those games as well. So maybe, but right now Nurkic seems like a step late to me on just about everything he's being asked to do.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm a big picture guy, and I know it's way too early. And this whole chemistry, this whole thing could congeal and improve and evolve. I get that. But as I'm sitting here last night and I'm watching this team, I don't feel like this is a championship squad. I don't feel like it looks that way. Durant is a sniper. Booker is a beast. But everybody else seemed like they were bumping into each other. It was an ugly game. It was both sides, but it was still, there's a couple times where like, wow, look at them. They're in sync. There's rhythm. Everything's good. But most of the time there was not. Most of the time it was clunky as hell. And it took the hero ball of Durant and Booker to get this thing done.
And I don't know if that's just a Suns thing. Like I looked at other teams around the league. The Nuggets look very clunky. If you want to talk about a team where it's just like, man, what are you guys doing right now? Like Jamal Murray looks like he's playing basketball on a different planet. Like it's just, I don't know what his deal is, but he suddenly cannot shoot. Jokic had to put up 40 for them to escape Toronto yesterday. There are a lot of teams right now that are just kind of all over the place, and somebody's going to have to figure this stuff out first, especially in the Western Conference, because it's about to be deadly over here. It's a lot of teams that have the ability to make the playoffs, but there's a finite amount of spots, and there are more good teams than there are spots.
Well, hopefully we end up a good team. Hopefully they get it all sorted, whether it's through coaching or trading. But I don't know. I mean, do you see it the way I see it, or you think I'm just being too hasty with my assessment?
I think you're being a little hasty. We're 4 games in, like I don't want to make a conclusion about like, all right, is this a championship team after 4 games? They're 3-1. They've looked good for the most part. Around this time last year, they were 2-2. And they were coming off a very disappointing loss to the Spurs. So like this is a better team than the team last year. I can tell you that. But I feel like that's all I feel comfortable being able to tell you at this particular point.
Well, hey, all I know is we beat the Lakers, and that makes me happy for the moment. So I guess in the end, that's all that really matters. 888-368-1580. Big Jake says the in-season tournament, Emirates Cup is what they call it. Oh, I don't like that.
Wait, do they?
They're calling it the Emirates Cup. Does anyone else maybe have some sort of problem with that? Calling it Emirates Cup? Is that something that's okay?
I would have to look into that, but I'm already
flag carrier of the United Arab Emirates in Dubai. If it's the Emirates Cup, as in the airline,
that's what they call it in soccer. I don't know is the NBA Cup the Emirates Cup? Yeah, it is.
See, yeah, I saw that in a commercial last night. I was like, wait, what?
I'm not thrilled about this. I'll give you that. I don't know how to feel about that, to be honest.
Gonna need a moment with that, but I'll continue with Big Jake's text. He says it's cool and it's good for the league. As you just said, these early season games don't matter that much, hence the tournament to add intrigue to early season games. It will continue to grow and get even better. There's no denying it went off nicely last year, and hating on it shows lack of adaptability. No, I hate on it because it's unnecessary. It's just kind of a dumb thing, just sitting there in the middle. It doesn't mean anything other than the players are just playing for a little extra cash, if we're honest. And of course, the Lakers, just so they can hang a banner. But this Emirates Cup thing,
I didn't find it to be cool last year. I thought it was I thought it was unnecessary. It didn't make the basketball more fun to watch. And maybe you're a different person, Big J.
You say lack of adaptability. Why should I adapt to something moronic?
Yeah, like being able to adapt is a good skill to have if the adaptability is like, hey, this change is actually good for all parties involved. To me, the early season games do matter. They mattered already. If you didn't believe that, this isn't changing your mind. I don't know anybody who's a basketball fan, who's like a casual fan, usually shows up in February, March, if we're honest, starts really watching basketball then, who said, you know what, this cup has brought interest to me. We had the Lakers and the Pacers playing for it last year, and I could not have cared less.
And by the way, it doesn't matter if I adapt or not. They're doing this anyway.
Yeah, they don't care.
He says the final was great basketball, played at full tilt. It was cool. Don't know. Didn't see it. Don't care.
I did see it. It was good basketball, but we could have had a good regular season basketball game that night anywhere. There are good regular season games all the time being played at full tilt. This is not new to me. So I
feel like they played it at full tilt last night. I mean, it was awkward tilt, clunky tilt, but it was tilt.
Yeah, you got the Nuggets in overtime fighting for their lives against the Raptors. Look, man, the players don't care more or less because the cup is happening. So why should I?
Golden Domer says it is Emirates Cup, sponsor of best soccer team in the world, Manchester City. Dude, don't bring that soccer talk around here. Two things we're not going to talk about right now. Okay, two things. Uno, which is Spanish for one, in case you're not bilingual. A is we don't talk about soccer because and then B. We don't talk about the World Series because nobody that matters is in it, so we don't care. Donnie says, are the Suns a championship team? Here, Jeffrey, I'll tell you. No, I didn't ask the question, moron. I stated that they are not. I'm asking Keon, almost sarcastically, almost like, I don't know. I guess it's not a rhetorical question if I ask a human being. It's a rhetorical question if I ask Donnie. Because that's assuming he had an IQ to actually form an actual answer that mattered, which he does not. So that would be rhetorical. But for Keon, I don't know. I just want to get his take on stuff. I know damn well he can't tell me if it's a championship team or not.
I didn't think the Mavs were a championship team last year until they were in the finals playing for one. So it's the Western Conference. If you get the right matchup and if you make the playoffs and you get the right matchup, there are a bunch of teams that I could genuinely make the case that team could go to a finals, like most of them. It's just a loaded conference of basketball.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, Minnesota Timberwolves, they also have a loss to the Lakers, so we'll see how they do in their next game. Let's see. Your next game is against Dallas. Oh yeah, you should win that. 888-368-1580. I want to give Donnie a hard time about the Timberwolves, but they're supposed to be a good team.
They've got the same record as Dallas.
Yeah,
Dallas was in the finals last year. Like, they're a good team too.
They should beat Dallas.
I don't know that. They literally average.
I'm saying it to set him up for disappointment.
He's a Minnesota sports fan. That kind of just happens already.
And I know. So if I do that, it's even better.
Oh God.
It's a lock, Donnie.
So,
you guys got this. It's a lock.
No.
Timberwolves with the win.
Not the dreaded lock.
Moldy Tuna Fish says, I flew Emirates once, and it was the best flight I've ever experienced. Had my own suite and a full-on bed and shower on board. It was luxurious. Yeah, I saw those commercials with Bargain Basement Salma Hayek. What's her name? Oh, Penelope Cruz.
Oh, my God. That's so mean. Why would you say it? Oh, my God.
I don't know. I just saw her in there, and she was like, they'll have to call it something other than economy. I'm like, yeah, because that's like first class for regular flights. No, listen, I'm sure it's very luxurious, like a magic carpet ride. But what's connected to it and what it comes with, don't think I can get on that plane.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying. I mean, I need to look more into this whole thing, but I'm not America, but I am, a patriotic man of good conscience.
Specifically when it comes to Saudi Arabia, I have concerns. That's all. That is all.
Fifth letter says Lakers will be in the Western Conference Finals. That's a lock. Yes, Lakers. It's a lock.
Oh, no. that has come back in the worst way.
Oh, but see, yeah. Would it be a reverse way? Like because I'm saying it and I'm looking for it to do that. Maybe it has the opposite thing and they win the damn championship.
Who could
anything's
say?
Possible. Big Jake says AD sure took it seriously last year, balling in the final, playing like it was game 7. Watch this year, it'll be even better. Yeah, because he knows he's got to get in whatever he can get in before he gets injured. Because
but also I don't think he was playing at a higher level last year just because he was in the cup. Because Anthony Davis is already currently this season averaging 32 points a game. He's already playing hard now. So what are we doing? Just because you as a fan care a little less doesn't mean that the players don't. They already cared because they're getting paid. You're looking at that next contract like, yeah, if I ball out, I can get more money.
Oh, wait, you're going to give me $500,000?
Yeah. The team now, the Pacers looked like they cared last year, but a lot of that was they have the lowest payroll.
Yeah, they're poor as hell.
Yeah,
they really meant it.
So those guys were like, oh, this bonus means everything.
They got some sort of bonus, even though they didn't get the big one, so every little bit helps.
Yeah.
The Pacers, you're right. They're walking in with like a little coffee cup going, change? Got change? Berg says, Premier League pain. What do you mean pain? You won. Or is that about me and me losing by 2 points? That did suck. He says, Booker. And then he says, joking. I'm not really tracking, Berg, where you are in the conversation, but it's good to have you here. Bullseye says, whatever you do, don't talk about my Indianapolis Colts benching Anthony Richardson and starting Joe Flacco. I'm in mourning. I keep forgetting that Bullseye also a fan of the Colts. But I am not in mourning. Why are you in mourning? This is the right thing to do. I mean, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But even if you were doing it for Anthony Richardson, it's still the right thing to do.
One of the things we've seen is, quarterbacks don't just get better playing. They also get better behind a pro. Jameis Winston is a pretty damn good example of that if he continues to do well. Because, he's been backup quarterback status for a bit. And it feels like he has learned some things. He has been in practice. He has worked maybe some things out because he didn't throw any picks, which was the biggest surprise of all in that Browns game. And so Anthony Richardson, maybe he starts to learn to do a few things like work on cardio, not run headfirst into a brick wall. Maybe don't throw into, the wrong area of the field or double coverage or just randomly to the other team. This is probably good for Anthony Richardson, means nothing to our Colts because we're not winning a Super Bowl. This was supposed to be about the education of Anthony Richardson. It still can be, even if Joe Flacco starts and keeps us respectable with a few wins here and there. I mean, everybody's like, Joe Flacco's elite.
He's not.
Not anymore.
Joe Flacco hasn't been elite since when did the Ravens win that Super Bowl?
He was there for a few minutes.
2010?
Yeah. So
yeah. Yeah. Just because he had a half a good season last year, and let's put that in perspective, it was half of a season. It wasn't a whole season. And then he's looked pretty good in some of these games this year. I don't know how we got Joe Flacco back into elite status, but we're not watching the same quarterback.
Just because he wins a couple games does not mean he's elite status. He himself will admit, I'm off the couch, literally. I'm just happy to be here. And that's cool. I'm fine with it. I mean, again, it is what it is. Moist One says it was pretty boring between NFL and World Series. It was Hot Fudge Monday. Okay, I don't know what that means. It's probably wrong. And I'm just going to move on to a break. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic. This update brought to you by Sport Trade. Download the Sport Trade app and use code VSIN to earn 10% cash back on every bet in your first week. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
World Series Game 4 tonight in New York with the Dodgers leading the Yankees 3-0, a win away from the championship. The Yankees will send Luis Gil to the mound, minus a run and a half, plus 135, while the Dodgers are getting a run and a half, minus 160. On the money line, Los Angeles plus 130, the Yankees minus 155. The over-under tonight in the Bronx is at 8.5. NFL Sunday, the Arizona Cardinals hosting the Chicago Bears. Arizona favored by a point in Glendale, minus 115 on the money line. Bears minus 105. The over-under at 44.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
It's fall football on The Fanatic. Catch all the live game play-by-play, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday day and night NFL games, plus the Saturday NCAA football game of the week. It's all right here on the Valley's home for football. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben, from the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. You get the idea. And now get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Hi, guys. Jeffrey O'Brien here. Have you ever gone to HarmonSolar.com? Well, you really need to, because everything you ever wanted to know about how solar power can save you big on your monthly electric bill is right there. It's online. Through your phone or through your computer, you can learn about tax credits, the equipment they use, look at how they do things for businesses as well as homeowners, see testimonials from happy customers, and I hear they got a pretty good podcast too. Check it out. Go to HarmonSolar.com. That's HarmonSolar.com.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, host of You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show. Now, why should you check out You Better You Bet? Because we bring you the most fun. We bring you the most insightful, the most entertaining show in the wagertainment world. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come alongside them. Plus, you'll get the best betting analysis anywhere from myself, Ken Barkley, and some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. So tune in weekdays, noon to 3 on Arizona Sports Betting Station, 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
It's Dave Blitner here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right. Well, I don't know about the World Series. Is it boring? I don't know if it's boring. I don't care about it enough to know if it's boring.
It's boring.
Is it? All right.
The first game was really fun, and then it's been just since then.
It'll be over soon.
Yeah, like tonight probably.
NFL? Yeah. It was just like whatever. It's just
It was just not a good. That's not a good primetime game.
No, we knew it wouldn't be.
Daniel Jones, by the way, on Monday Night Football, now 0-8.
Well, he's 0-8, but the Steelers have won 22 Monday Night Footballs in a row now.
Oh my God!
So that's where the money should be. By the way, can I just ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
I know that you're on Beat the Book with Dylan Cohen. So let me ask you a question. Has your bank account improved from spending all this time with Dylan? Have you started to see your betting, balance start to grow?
Yeah. Especially with some of the long shots, like they are long shots, so they don't hit insanely often, but when they do, it's like an insane amount of money. It's absurd. So yes, is the answer to the question.
I was just curious because, when you're hanging around somebody who's good at doing the betting, sometimes you start to feel a little braver, don't you? You start to be like, think maybe I'll give that a shot.
Yeah, and I've kind of learned some of the thought process a little bit more too, so I can start to make my own bets that are not bad, where before they were not at all good.
Hey, man, when it comes to money, it's all right to copy off somebody else's paper. You know what I mean?
If they're making money, you can just do that too. Yeah.
As long as it's working, trust it, ride the wave. In fact, as far as our picks contest goes, Dylan Cohen from Beat the Book, he had the most right of any of the hosts this week. He had 13 right. Then after that, you and I had 11, and then Randy had 10. Oh, no, Ralph had 8. Oh,
what did he pick? I've got to go
know.
there and I've got to find him and look him up.
But that just puts me now 4 ahead of Ralph, so he can just kiss my butt from that bragging he was doing earlier in the season. But I am still in the lead of all hosts. I've got 80 correct, and Dylan's got 77. You and Ralph have 76, and well, Randy, he's got 71. So this week's weekly winner of our picks contest is Hoffa 75. He had 14 right. Nice week for Hoffa. The current leader now, it's a tie between Puckered Starfish and Fish Tank. Fish Tank had a bad week. So he dropped down and Puckered Starfish jumped up. Now they are both tied with 86 right. 86. That's 10 more than you, Keon. That's 6 more than me.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive this time of year, to be honest. So Puckered Starfish and Fish Tank fighting it out for first and second right now. Looking at our fantasy football, all the Daily Blender fantasy football leagues, the highest point total I saw of anyone who matters is Harvey's Putt Swaddlers in League 11, 186.3 points. And that's all I want to talk about in fantasy football.
Because,
And let me just repeat what I said. Shut up, Tommy. Nobody wants to hear you right now, Tommy. That's just between me and Tommy.
Good to know.
I didn't need to hear from you, Tommy. So the team that beat me, Golden Rules, he's got CeeDee Lamb, who I was up by 40 points, and then I lost the game because of stupid CeeDee Lamb with his 42 points. On our site there, I posted up, I hate you, CeeDee Lamb. That's it. I posted. I didn't need to hear from Tommy. But Matt comes in and says, oh, yeah, the joys and tragedy of fantasy football. You go from winning to losing in seconds. Kind of like the Bears yesterday. Fair enough. But then Tommy, my opponent, says, one of the few times this Niners fan was excited for a Dallas player to score. Shut up, Tommy. This isn't about you right now, Tommy. You don't belong in this post, Tommy. You're in first place, 200 points ahead of me. I'm down in 9th. I needed that win. You didn't need that win. I needed that win. You were still going to be in first place. And now here I am. I'm down here at the bottom. I'm going to be the guy who gets shuffled out of the Premier League now. Thanks a lot, CeeDee Lamb. You shut your mouth, Tommy. You shut your mouth. Tommy's loving this. You just know he is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you,
I shouldn't have said anything.
The best trolling you can do is just win. Of course he's loving it.
Don't endlessly wander into my conversation about hating CeeDee Lamb. How dare you? All right, let's go back to the text line. Fifth letter has a serious question for Keon.
Ooh, okay.
What's Trae Young's contract look like with the Hawks? Is there a possibility the Lakers can trade for him or pick up his contract? They've done dumber things.
Yeah, I don't even know that fits, but all right, let me go ahead and take a look at the contract there. Because I know that the Lakers are either at that first apron level or just over it. So They did make some stuff. They did make some adjustments to kind of get back from that second apron level where the Suns are currently trapped. So that's good for them, I guess. But if we're going to take a look at Trae Young and the contract there, boy, $43 million this year for Trae Young, 45 next year, 48 the year after that with a player option. So my early guess is no. I don't think that that's a trade that you can reasonably make. And I also don't think it makes the team better. Like, I don't know what it is about Trae Young that you're looking at that you're like, yeah, point guard that holds onto the ball and needs the ball in his hands.
Don't help the Lakers.
The Lakers have not listened to a single thing I've ever said. I'm not helping them. They don't listen to me. They are run by morons. It doesn't matter what I say.
Yeah, well, what if it's that one time they actually did?
They don't. They don't. Look at them. Just look at them. They got beat yesterday because they're smaller than the Suns are. And that's going to be a problem for them all year. And I'm looking forward to seeing that be a problem for them if they wind up in the playoffs, because most of the teams in the Western Conference are bigger than them by a lot.
Fifth letter says, okay, never mind. You're right.
It's just Trae Young.
I thought he was around 24 mil a year.
No. Point guard who hangs on to the ball too long, playing with LeBron James, who needs the ball in his hands, and Anthony Davis, who is increasingly becoming more ball dominant, but I think in a good way. He's scoring a lot. But like, no, you're not going to add that to that team and make it better. That's just not even a good fit, in my opinion.
So you don't want sweaty baby hair. You don't want Trae Young.
And he makes you a worse defender as well. Like, if you build a team around Trae Young, you have to build it with his weaknesses in mind. And I don't know that the Lakers have that.
8394 sends, just to aggravate me, I don't know who the hell you are, sends me emoji of CD and an emoji of a lamb. It's just a CD. I mean, I could have gone DVD goat. Taco Kenny is on the text line, and he wants to say positive things about a team I don't want to say positive things about. But his team is a Western team playing in the World Series, so I'll just read the part which says Estodo. Baker's Cocky Hen says Anthony Davis quickly moving up Moist One's list, with ball domination. Anthony Davis was playing great last night, but man, we were very close to seeing him in street clothes again when he rolled his foot on that basketball. He was a little bit tweaked, but he was like, nope, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay. Berg says, hey, Premier League, breaking news. Daniel Jones is available for quarterback deprived teams. That's for you, Randy. Well, Randy's not here to hear your chirping. I didn't know he was quarterback deprived. There's plenty of quarterbacks out there. Hamilton Porter says, I guess the only positive thing about this World Series is that almost over, so we never have to speak of it again. No, that's true. That's a good point. That is a good point. One of the things, and I don't remember where this came up, but I love this, was the how do you enjoy the World Series is just hope that the away team always wins, so that the home team and the fans that show up, nobody's happy.
Mm-hmm.
So even if the World Series ends on a home, on an away field, then that's at least something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that your fans can't enjoy it, and the people who are there hate it, then everybody's unhappy. I don't know who came up with that, but I love it.
I love it too. It has not happened.
It hasn't been happening, no.
But it would be funny if
the
Yankees came back, because
my Haterade cup is half full because of this.
If the Yankees come back and win this series, which I doubt that they will, to be clear, but if they do, we will personally know a guy named Ralph who will never show up on the show again. And that is a little fun.
Yeah, there's just no way that's going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
But it would be see, I hate the Yankees though.
I know.
Is it amazing?
To me, it would be amazing just because I don't like either of those teams. It's about pretty equal for me. And I know Ralph. If I know a person that I can annoy, that's going to take more precedence to me.
Yeah, at this point, it's best if it's just over tonight, because it's over.
Yeah. You don't have to think about it or talk about it anymore.
That's the other part. But this is happening in New York. And if they are going to win a game, It would be this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hopefully not. I don't know. I just don't want to think about this anymore. Fifth letter says Lakers are missing their other 7-footer in Christian Woods. We are not smaller than the Suns.
I'm not talking about
when's he coming back?
Your the depth of the team, but like, did you see Gabe Vincent out there yesterday? The Suns were hunting him. Anytime Beal switched on Gabe Vincent, that was like 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he's too small. He's 6'1". He's not a bad defender, but at 6'1", there aren't that many people he can stop from getting to the basket if they just want to.
Big Jake says Danny Dimes, more like Danny Pennies. Thank you for the poor play down the stretch. But you lose a bet? I don't understand what I'm looking at.
What did you expect out of him? He's been this bad the whole time.
Oh, he was looking for over 37.5 total match points. And wait, you didn't get that? Let's see here. Yeah, you got that. You got the over on that. It was 26-18. So you got the over on that. I understand. I don't understand what you're bitching about right now, Big Jake. Moving on. Latina Leprechaun says Thursday night football. Not going to get any better this Thursday. New York Jets and Houston Texans. Yeah, I'm not signing up for Prime for that game, she says.
Well, to be fair, when they scheduled it, it looked like a better game.
It did.
It's just the Jets turned out to be terrible.
I feel like I could say right here, right now. Wait, where is this game? I feel like the Texans will win this.
Yeah, it's in New York.
I don't know. I mean,
the Jets are 2-point favorites in this game. I'm just picking.
It's my birthday, and I might watch just to see Aaron Rodgers get booed by New Yorkers,
which could very well happen.
That might make it worth it. Happy birthday to me. Fish Tank says what Jameis Winston hasn't been practicing is his pregame speech. Oh, is he doing that again? Is he eating W's?
I don't know if he's eating W's, but he's back to shouting in the locker room. Yeah.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
So Russell Wilson is cringy. Jameis Winston's incoherent.
Yeah. The thing with Jameis is when he does all of that stuff, like Jameis just means it. That's the reason why it doesn't make you cringe, but also like, what are you even saying? What are you talking about right now? You're not even speaking English anymore, Jameis. What is what you're saying? Whereas with Russ Wilson, it just feels kind of canned, like he rehearsed that earlier,
not legit.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that's funny about that. Was it Rodney Carrington last night on the broadcast is saying, yeah, Mike Tomlin is not going to allow that. You show up as your most authentic self or you don't show up. And so I think what happened was Russell Wilson showed up and says, all right, Steelers, and Tomlin's like, don't
keep it to yourself.
Just
keep it to yourself.
Hey, where's my office?
You don't have one.
You shut your mouth, Russell.
It's called your locker.
Here's a ball. You throw this, and that's all you do. During the flight, you sit your ass in the chair, and you wait till we land to do your calisthenics. You don't. That's probably what it is. There's a thing on his locker that says, instead of just do it, it says just don't.
Yeah. Bill Belichick had do your job. Mike Tomlin has just don't.
Just ellipses.
Don't.
Yeah, ellipses. Don't. And that's only for you, Russell Wilson. I don't know. Pinocchio says, well, a late push helped me beat the Berg in the fantasy football. Even with him having an active player on the IR, where's the commissioner when you need one? Battle of the basement this weekend. Coming for you, Jeffrey. All right, Pinocchio, you're in last place, so I wouldn't be chirping so loud. You beat the Berg. He had a active player on IR? What do you mean? I don't understand.
As in a player that probably got activated from IR, but Berg didn't activate the player.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, Berg's got his own strategy. Maybe he just didn't want to chance it with the guy coming back from injury.
So you keep the extra roster spot, and then
he'll have to deal with it this week, but he didn't have to get him out of there just yet. I don't think. I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I found out I've got some power. You want to hear the kind of power I wield?
What power do you wield, Mr. O'Brien?
Well, in League One, TD and Beers, he was like, I was trying to drop Christian Kirk. He says, my fat finger hit Roma Dunze. He's like, can you help me? I says, I think all I can do is just warn everybody, hey, that was an accident. Don't pick him up. But then I got in the settings, and it turns out I can. I was able to add him back to TD and Beer's lineup.
That's kind of cool, actually.
So if somebody makes a mistake, I can at least fix that. That felt powerful and it felt right
enough. Yeah.
Felt good. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back and I'll get back on this text line, but we got some more NBA stuff we want to talk about. Of course, we're heading for some football. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
It's fall football on The Fanatic. Catch all the live game play-by-play, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday day and night NFL games, plus the Saturday NCAA football game of the week. It's all right here on the Valley's home for football. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert. 4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
4 years. That's how long it took Democrats to ruin our economy and plunge our southern border into anarchy. Who helped them hurt us? Ruben Gallego. Washington could have cut taxes for Arizona families, but Ruben blocked the bill. And his fellow Democrats gave a bigger break to the millionaire class in California and New York. They played favorites and cost us billions. And Ruben wasn't done yet. Democrats could have secured the border. Instead, they invited an invasion and used our tax dollars to pay for it. Ruben Gallego even backed a law to let them vote in our elections. Don't give Gallego and the Democrats another 4 years to hurt us. Give your support to a real Arizona leader, Kari Lake. Kari and the Republicans will secure the border, support our families, and never turn their backs on us. Kari Lake for Senate.
I'm Kari Lake, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Kari Lake for Senate and the NRSC.
AZ Preps 365, your source for all the news, info, highlights, and more. Athlete news and interviews. Talk with coaches. Keep you up to date with the changes, moves, upcoming events, and more. AZ Preps 365, Arizona's ultimate prep sports show. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. AZ Preps 365, Saturday mornings 8 till 10 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
My name is Mary Grace. There are a few misconceptions about Alzheimer's. It's not just memory loss. It's the loss of mobility, the risk of falling.
For more information, contact the Alzheimer's Association at alz.org, sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
This is Brian Busberger. Don't miss Betting Across America, Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports Betting Station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Today, Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Hey, we got tickets to give away, by the way. Oh. I know we got tickets for an ASU game. We also have tickets for Phoenix Raceway next Friday and Saturday. Got some tickets for the Truck Championship on Friday, and then we got tickets for the big race, I think, on I don't remember which one. Hold on, let me look at these tickets. I don't know if it's Sunday or Saturday. Let me take a look here. Championship. It was one of the championships. This is for the Xfinity Series Championship on Saturday. So we got them for Friday for the trucks, and we got it on Saturday for Xfinity cars. I honestly don't know the difference, and I wish Randy was here to help fill that in. But so when he gets back, we'll get the 411 and all this. But if you're a fan of the NASCAR, we got some tickets to give away, so keep listening for your chance to win some pairs of tickets to that. Hamilton Porter says, I would like to thank the Giants for being the Giants, so Pittsburgh could carry my fantasy team to victory.
Sometimes it's just like that.
Mm-hmm. Big Jake says, I was thanking Danny Pennies for getting me the Steelers cover and the over hit for a 2-leg parlay. Oh, well, it seemed like you were insulting him. You're upset about something. I guess I read that wrong. Fifth letter says, it's your birthday, Jeffrey? Happy birthday, my man. Cheers to more life. No, not till Thursday. Thursday's my birthday. Berg says, obviously that's planning and my team is terrible. So take it for what it's worth. Dude, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. He says, yeah, the key is to set roster a week or two in advance. So if a player is on IR and you don't make any moves, they stay there. I mean, depends on the guy, I guess. Kiss the Cook says, Latina Leprechaun, is that the female version of Carlos O'Brien? I guess it is. Yes, I don't remember what she said. It was her father Mexican and her mother Irish, or the other way around. All I know was epic arguments in that household. That was a very loud household. That's at least my guess.
Some fiery parenting.
Let's get back to the NBA. So Taylor Hendricks, don't watch the video. If you haven't seen the video, don't watch the video. Have you seen the video?
I've not seen the video.
Don't watch the video.
Don't plan on it. Don't plan on it.
I've seen it. Wish I hadn't. Not, I mean, I think your first clue should be the word gruesome. It's all over the video. It's all over the news. It's all over everything about it. Taylor Hendricks had a gruesome injury, non-contact too, which I don't understand. How in the hell do you break your leg? How do you dislocate your ankle? Non-contact. Did Chris Godwin's at least had some contact, right? Or was his non-contact?
Yeah, no, Godwin got caught by a hip drop tackle.
Yeah, so his foot got turned around the other direction by a guy. Taylor Hendricks by the floor.
Ooh.
Non-contact.
Yeah, it just happens sometimes. I mean, you're doing something that the human body wasn't quite meant to do on the level of like, look how much you're running and how hard you're running and how frequently you're doing it. You're putting stress on your body that just some bodies just break down under it.
8394 says that boy needs to up his milk intake. That's funny. And now I need to know who the hell you are. You need a text or nickname if you're going to keep this up. Man. Yeah, he's out for the season. That's it.
Yeah, I feel bad for the guy. That's
He
terrible.
was the number 9 overall pick in the NBA draft last year. And he spent a lot of time in the G League. So he's finally getting his shot with the Jazz. Not good. Yeah, don't watch the video.
I plan on not doing that.
I'm not just telling you. I'm telling everybody. I had to see it. You don't have to see it. Random texter says, do you think the arguments between the Latino and the Irish spouses ever got to the point where they didn't understand each other? That was probably a large part of why they had to yell so loud. Fifth letter says, name that texter the milkman. I'm not above it. I'm not beyond it. I'm not opposed to it. It's not a bad idea, fifth letter.
I kind of agree. I like it.
Somebody tell me why Joel Embiid got a technical foul for waving that flag around. He didn't step on the court.
No.
So why did he get a technical foul for that?
You're technically not supposed to. And the league is being pedantic about Joel Embiid, I think, just because they don't like that he plans on not playing a good chunk of the games this year to try and save himself for the playoffs. I expect all kinds of ticky-tack stuff to be called on Joel Embiid this year.
Well, luckily, it was a post-game technical foul, which why even bother?
Why is that even possible?
They're like, we'll get him where it hurts. He'll get fined for it.
Well, the thing is, if you get a certain number of technical...
No. Well, I get that, but wait. The fine, $2,000.
Yeah, no, the fine, I don't think it's about the fine. I think it's about loading him up with technicals so that if anything happens, what ends up happening to Draymond Green later in the year, he ends up with so many technicals that by the time you get to the playoffs, one incident causes you to miss games.
Does Embiid get a lot of technical fouls? Because it takes 16 in a season to get a 1-game suspension.
I don't think he typically does, but if they're going to call stuff like this on him, a post-game technical, they're going to load him up with technicals. I honestly think that's the plan. Like, you want to try and game the system. And
you think Silver's on the phone going, all right, open season on Joel Embiid with the technicals. Click.
I don't think it's like an open season thing like that, but does the league specifically target particular guys who are making them look bad? Like everything that the Sixers are doing here, because it's not just Joel Embiid, It's Paul George. I just think that the Sixers are kind of under the target of the NBA. They started the season benching Joel Embiid for a primetime game. The league hates this. The load management stuff, that they've kind of let it slide. They don't like it, but they've let it slide as long as your stars are ready to go for primetime games. And what the Sixers have essentially done is give the league the finger and say, we don't care. We want our guy ready for the playoffs. And even if he only plays 40 games this year, we're going to bench him so that he's right and good to go. And the league is like, well, okay, you've got fans that show up on, Thursday night. You've got people that tune into TNT on Thursday night to watch this guy play. If you're going to do that to us, then we've got an answer for you. I think the Sixers.
Well, they really wanted that answer. They should have given him a technical during the game, because he was waving the flag during game time. If they'd have given that technical, it could have cost them the game if a turn of events had happened.
It could have, but I genuinely think that the officials didn't think to do it during the game, because this seems to be a what can we dig up on the Sixers and what can we dig up on Embiid and have stick to him. Officials normally don't call that stuff. So of course they didn't call it during the game. I don't like that the league is doing this either, but they are mad. They are. Adam Silver has been reportedly very unhappy about what the Sixers have planned to do. Like, the thing with a lot of other teams where they load manage guys is that they don't just come out and say, hey, we're not playing them. You just kind of keep it on the low. You just don't do it. The Sixers have come out and said they're not doing it.
Yeah, that's brave. And it's also scary, because if you come out and obviously say something, then the NBA has to obviously deal with it. And you can see future rule changes that will keep you from ever being able to do this again.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen.
Fighting Wampa says, do your technical fouls reset once the playoffs start?
No.
That's a good question.
No, that's why Draymond has been kind of that sore spot, is he gets enough technicals over the course of the year. The playoffs start, they do not reset. They carry over into the postseason.
Mr. Pink Eye has a good question as well. A lot of good questions today. His question is, did Dwayne Wade get his statue at Temu? It would seem so. Yes. Dwayne Wade is out of his damn mind, by the way. He is part of the problem, not part of the solution. I think it was his input on that statue that helped make it so wrong.
Yeah.
He says, here's a quote: if I wanted it to look like me, I just stand outside the arena and y'all can take photos. It don't need to look like me. It's the artistic version of a moment that happened that we're trying to cement. Dwayne, if a statue is supposed to represent a certain person, it does need to look like that certain person, because that certain person was in the moment you were trying to cement. I'm sorry, Dwayne. It doesn't look like you.
I don't know if this is him just coping with how bad it looks, or if he genuinely, his input caused it to look like that. But either way, none of that is good. It looks like someone combined two other Heat players. Just looks like someone combined like Alonzo Mourning and Udonis Haslem. And
you know what it looks like?
It doesn't look like him at all.
You ever watched the original Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger there? And he finds himself on the surface of Mars and his face is getting ready to explode. He's like, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
That moment.
Yeah.
I should probably find a still of that, put it side by side, and then you'd be like, holy crap, it does. That's what it is.
And he tried to stand outside in front of the statue. I don't know if you saw the picture
I
of
did.
him.
Doesn't look anything like
him. Doing the same pose that the statue is doing, and
Doesn't-
it just looks like a different guy.
Even worse, because then his body doesn't seem to match his body either. When he
Which
does that, when he's doing this thing.
I can understand the body not necessarily matching because you're just not in playing shape anymore, but it's only exaggerating how not like you it looks.
And listen, his defensiveness is not coping. He also went on and said, hey, I don't know a lot of people with a statue. Do you? Anyone here? You all know anything about the process of a statue? No one out there do neither? He says, and so it's an unbelievable process to be a part of. It's a complicated process. I imagine that is true.
Yeah.
Except for a lot of times they look like the person.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't, but this one really don't.
Yeah, it's a complicated process, but in the end of the process, the statue's supposed to look like you, Dwayne, and it doesn't look like you. I don't care about the stuff in the middle. The stuff at the end is what counts, and that's not a Dwayne Wade statue.
Berg agrees on the Arnold Schwarzenegger from Total Recall. He says, perfect imagery, Jeffrey. That's the correct likeness. Bullseye. Oh, one of my favorite movies of all time. Original Total Recall. What a way to go. Eyes popping out of your socket and all that. Yeah. Spoiler alert. He doesn't die. All right. We got to take a break. It's top of the hour. So that's 1 down and 2 to go. Come on back, kids. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben, from the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
Doug. Customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. After that, you can also save me, as I'm currently hanging from the edge of a cliff. To recap, number 1, customize and save. Number 2, time allowing, save me. Shoulders separating.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Head coach Bobby Hurley and Sun Devil men's basketball are ready to join the Big 12 Conference. This season, the Sun Devils host conference foes Baylor, Iowa State, Arizona, TCU, and Houston, all at Desert Financial Arena. And another steal ahead to Miller, and Miller reverses it up and in, and he's fouled. Holy moly. Join the action and get your Sun Devil men's basketball tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1. Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow, but we got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. I mean, we beat the Lakers, but all anybody wants to talk about is Dwayne Wade's statue and how it doesn't look anything like Dwayne Wade. See, Dwayne, nobody thinks it looks like you. 0% of people think it looks like you. 0% of people think it looks like that moment you're trying to portray. It's a bad statue, and it's got to be redone. It just has to be redone. I mean, that's it. That's all there is to it.
With him tripling down on this, I don't think it ever will, though, is the thing. Because the whole point of having the statue, we can all kind of figure, okay, maybe that's Dwayne Wade, because we, you know, if you saw the moment, especially if you're a Miami fan, you know exactly what that's referencing. But, you know, Heat fans 20 years from now, that's not going to look like Dwayne Wade to them. They're going to look up pictures of Dwayne Wade on whatever version of the internet they have then, and they're going to look at that statue, and it's not going to make any sense.
Who's the scary sick guy? That's what they're going to ask. Fighting Wampa says maybe that statue is the Dwayne Wade in the multiverse. Maybe. I mean, that is possible. That's the way multiverses work, I guess. Niner Annapolis says Cohagen needs to give Dwayne Wade the air. I don't understand what that means. I don't know what that means, Niner Annapolis. Bullseye says, true, but the bad guy who fell out of that vacuum first did die from his eyes popping out and lack of oxygen. He did have it coming, though. Too bad the same thing didn't happen to evil Sharon Stone. Well, she got hers, man. She did get hers. D Banks After Dark says Rocky Stallone statue looks more correct. You are correct, sir. Baker's Cocky Him says, who are we to judge how Dwayne Wade wants to be identified in 2024?
Well, we're not, no one's talking about how Dwayne Wade wants to be identified. His statue
it's
just
about
don't,
our eyeballs.
Yeah, his statue just don't look like him. That's all.
You see what you're trying to do there.
Yeah.
You're failing.
Because we're talking about a statue.
Moldy Tuna Fish says, I can't wait for 1 week from tomorrow when all these political ads end. I am numb to all attack ads at this point. I just want to vote for Donald Duck for everything and be done with it. You guys can just write me into whatever you feel like.
Didn't you get some votes last
every time. I don't think I pushed very hard this election season to get votes. Mostly because I just forgot about it. But yeah, my wife wrote me in for a couple of different things, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I wrote me in for a couple of things. So if you guys write me in, who knows, I might win something. So whatever you feel like writing me in for, I'm all for it. Donnie says, Jeffrey, look at my parlay from last night. Didn't I already do that? Did I already do that? All right, I'll look at it. He won $374 on a $25 wager.
Nice.
Russell Wilson, 175 plus yards. George Pickens, 40 plus yards. Malik Neighbors, 60 plus yards. That one you were lucky to get. Russell Wilson, 1+ passing touchdown. Russell Wilson, under 16.5 rushing yards. No, okay. He scrambles out. He doesn't scramble forward. Wendell Robinson, over 4.5 total receptions. That's brave. I had no idea who that even was. So, yeah. All right. Good for you. You made a bet and you won money. Too bad that money can never replace your personality.
Wow. Wow. Unprompted.
Big George says, hello, gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. Says, sorry, I'm getting onto the show now. Been a busy day at work. Yeah, everybody forgets that Big George is a lawyer, and he actually works. He actually goes someplace and works. So, I don't know. Chosen One says, Niner Annapolis was referring to Total Recall. Huh? Cohagen's the bad guy? Oh, I didn't remember the name. How am I supposed to remember the name? I don't remember the names of the bad guys. All I remember is, I remember Sharon Stone getting beat up by Arnold Schwarzenegger, which I was like, I know she's the bad guy, but she's getting her ass kicked by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Well, he was getting his ass kicked by her for a minute. And then there's the woman with the 3 breasts, and then there's the guy with a head in his chest, and then there was as they were about to pop outside of the dome. So that's all I remember. No, I don't remember the name.
And I annoy all of my friends with this. When I watch a movie, I refer to all of the characters as the actor that plays them because I remember that easier. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember Arnold Schwarzenegger's character name. I don't remember it. I don't have to.
He's Arnold. That's all.
So there. Fighting Wampa says, we are going about this wrong. Maybe Dwayne Wade just needs to make his face look like the statue. I think if he's going to let that statue stay there, you're right. They should surgically alter his face to match the statue.
But you can look up the picture that the statue is referencing. You can change his face.
You wipe that
now
off the internet and you replace all pictures with that picture.
Good luck.
I saw somebody Photoshop the statue head onto his wedding photo. So it's him and Gabrielle Union, but it's that statue head. Terrifying. But that would make it accurate, wouldn't it? He should have the statue face if he believes in it so much.
No.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, Wade was watching Stargate SG-1 and saw Tilk destroy someone and make that face. Decided he wanted a statue to look like Tilk, but with the jersey. Clearly no fanatic issue here. CK says Total Recall was great. I first saw that as a young child. Needless to say, the woman with the tres leches, favorite scene. Yes, that was just for the. I mean, even watching it when I was younger, I was like, "Oh, that's not real," but it was still like, "But if it was,"
oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Taco Kenny says, Jeffrey, on the night of the draft party, I told you I had to write you in on the presidential ballot. You said you'd help me make the Raiders great again. Oh, yeah. If I win the presidency, I can do that. I can make any promise I want. They're doing it. Pinocchio says, Rachel Ticketon was the hot Latina in that movie. How do you know her name? And I probably said it wrong. Chief Skull says that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie was Total Recall. I know we said that earlier. We said that. That wasn't the thing. Anyway. Unnamed texter says looks like Samuel Jackson in Django right before he gets shot. Does it? Nah.
I don't think so. That's more of a reach than the other ones, but it looks more like that than it does like Dwayne Wade.
It looks more like me than it does Dwayne Wade. You know, watch. See that? I look more like the statue than Dwayne Wade does. That's pretty good right there.
Yeah.
See, I can make that face. Shame we don't have a TV show. Anyway, moving on. So Tyrese Halliburton has a blog. I don't know, a podcast. I don't know. And he's hanging out with Barack Obama. I don't know. And they're talking basketball. And Barack Obama just starts scolding him, starts yelling at him like it's his fault. He says the All-Star game is broken. He says it insults the game. And he just went off. And everything he said is absolutely true. I don't know if him saying it this far removed from the Oval Office makes any bit of difference. But he says, y'all got to have a little more pride in that All-Star game. He says, it's not as if y'all don't play pickup games during the summer. So you know how to play in a way that, you know, I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'm not going to take anybody out. And he says, but you're playing, right? He says, it's broke, man. He says, yeah. He's like, yeah, this version of the All-Star game insults the game. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I felt like I was getting yelled at. I was like, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. I think it's just, hey, if I ever get in front of another NBA player anytime soon, this is the thing that I must talk about. Yep. And then he did, and he's not wrong.
Yeah, he says everybody needs to be like, lock in better. This is your business. This is your product. You don't want people thinking you're all out there half-assed. He says, y'all need to do something because I ain't watching this thing no more. He's like, I'm from Chicago. So, you know, they started talking about, you know, who'd be his pick of all-time players. Listen, I know that he loves basketball. He's not that good at it. He's pretty good for a regular guy.
Yeah.
He's not that good.
Just a guy. Yeah,
but I can't argue with his lineup. He says Michael Jordan, shooting guard, LeBron at point forward, Steph Curry in the mix there, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon for center. And he says, so the last spot, he says Kevin Durant. It's a good team.
That's a good team.
He's not wrong.
That is a good team.
This tells us that Barack Obama has sat there and played NBA 2K on a regular basis in legend mode. Because he knows what's working. Check the man's thumbs. I bet they're very, very strong and agile. But he's right about the All-Star game.
Yeah, he's 100% correct. I mean, and everybody knows it. It's just like, to me, it's just how come the players don't seem to notice that we all can watch this game, and it's just embarrassing. It's not fun to watch anymore, you know. And it's been in my lifetime that this has changed. It hasn't been that long. I remember being in my early 20s and watching All-Star games I liked. Somewhere in the last decade, it just got horrifically bad.
Well, are they going to do anything this year? Because Adam Silver has said that he's not happy about it. The former president has said he's not happy about it. They're going to do anything about it?
I don't know. And I don't know what you can do. I have no idea. But it sucks. I mean, I remember being a kid and watching, you know, Kobe and MJ go at it in an All-Star game. Like, that was just fun, you know, or you see Allen Iverson challenge MJ, and like it like he said, like there used to be a care there that just on sheer pride, I can't let myself look like this. And like the players right now don't have it.
Yeah. I mean, so the mid-season tournament idea, why don't they put that as instead of the All-Star break? Why don't they move that thing to the middle and make it count for something bigger? I don't know what, but maybe we just give up on the All-Star game and plop that mid-season tournament actually mid-season.
Yeah, I think that makes a little.
You won't get
sense.
all stars, but you'll get stars. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there might be something there because I don't know, man. This is rough.
Yeah. So Obama is right about that. Shaq is wrong about this. I like Shaq. I like all the guys from the TNT crew, but that doesn't mean they're always right. Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, we know how Shaq thinks about gas, so we know he's wrong about quite a few things.
So right there, that's the first thing I thought of too when I heard him saying this. His calculations on how $20 of gas works. But Shaquille O'Neal was hanging out with Angel Reese, and he's like, yeah, he says, I know I'm probably gonna end up alone, and they're talking about stuff. Because he's like, yeah, I guess I'm bad at relationships. He says in his head, now, like the gas, this is in his head. He says, if I'm not physically seeing someone, if I'm with you every day, you know my schedule, it shouldn't matter what I'm doing on my phone. It's not cheating. He says, talking to a woman on the phone is not cheating. And he said, you can't tell me that's worse than cheating. And I'm like, what?
That is
it's absolutely cheating.
Absolutely part of cheating. Yeah.
All right. So men, let's be all clear together. Let's be clear together on this. If you are texting a woman, that's cheating. If you're flirting, like strong flirting with somebody, that you're on your way to cheating. I mean, these things, talking on the phone, it's cheating.
I mean, it depends, right? Like if you're just talking, like if you are just friends. And obviously, I think like whoever you're with has to be okay with this, by the way.
If you are already friends, okay. But if you're newly friends, that's going into a dangerous area. You shouldn't go there. You shouldn't. But let's not talk about the fringes of things. Let's talk about the basics. If you're texting with somebody, if you're talking to somebody, if you are flirting with somebody, that's just cheating.
If your wife or girlfriend can't be in the room and hear that conversation, or see that text and be okay, you have crossed the line. You have just crossed it entirely.
But he thinks this is just made up stuff. He's like, well, you guys are just these girls are making these rules up no, that's always been that way, man. That's not new. That goes both ways.
Does Shaq think this is new?
If she's
who has Shaq been with his whole life that this is like
if she's texting dudes, if she's calling dudes, that's the same thing. So no, you're wrong. You are going to end up alone and poor because they're always going to take a chunk when they leave. They're going to take a chunk of money when they go.
And if you really are that careless, like you deserve it.
And he knows this. He knows that back when he was married, he said he was leading a double life, and his cheating cost him the marriage.
Huh. Wonder how that happened. I wonder what series of situations Shaq put himself in that allowed that to happen.
Listen to people who know.
Because you know also, like if a friendship is starting to turn that way, you put your foot down and stop it, or you leave that friendship, because that a person who would jeopardize that relationship with you is not your friend.
It's not about you being a provider. It's not about all the other stuff. It's just a basic respect. If you're with someone and that's that one person, you shouldn't be talking to other people's. There's no reason for that. That's it. It's simple. It's not complicated.
Well, it is if you're Shaq, apparently, because if
there's
you
a lot
put
of men
$20 and get to half a tank of gas, and then you fill up the tank of gas and you let it get to half, then you put $20, you're saving money. That has to be complicated to Shaq, because this is the man that we're talking about here.
If you have to run out of the room to take a phone call, if you have to put your phone upside down on the table every time for fear of what might be seen to pop up on the screen, yeah, you're not up to something good.
Yeah.
That's not conducive to a healthy relationship, my friend.
And that's not, again, not new. That has been true for as long as men and women have been doing this particular thing.
But here's the deal. You, as long as you're honest with people at the beginning, and it seems like he wants to be that, you say, here's who I am, this is how I am, here's what I do. Then it's up to them to make the decision whether they are able to accept the price of doing business in a relationship with Shaquille O'Neal. As long as you're honest about all that. But if you're hiding stuff, that was the thing. Like I've said this before on the show, I've always respected about the following people: Leo DiCaprio and George Clooney, notorious poonhounds, and they just ran the table. But they did it honestly. They never told a girl, "Hey, I love you," or "Hey, you're the only one." They're like, "This is me. This is what we're doing, and this is temporary. But hey, let's have some fun. As long as everybody's good with that, we're all good." And also with Leo, it's like, as long as you're under 22,
that's the thing.
We're good.
Oh, but yeah, no, like
but
you got to be straight up about it.
Everybody knew what they were getting into. Shaquille O'Neal, you were married. You can't do these things, as you now know, when you're married. You also shouldn't be doing these things when you're in a relationship.
Yeah,
like you have to leave your phone upside down on the table or run out of the room for a phone call. You're the bad guy.
Yeah. Like if you're because you can be friends with people of the other gender in a relationship like that, but you have to be upfront with that person too. Like, hey, if we're going to be friends, just understand that my marriage or this relationship is the most important thing to me. You are not about to jeopardize that. And if you do, I'm going to consider you not my friend.
Kiss the Cook says, can't disagree with you more. I've got many friends that are women. Well, if you already have friends that are women and the person you're with is aware of this and okay with this, that is a different dynamic. But if it changes between you and these women that are friends, now you're in an area where it is wrong. You are the exception to the rule. Most men do not have women who are friends. Most women don't really have straight men who are friends. I'm just saying, it's, individual results may vary. Every situation's a little bit different. But as long as everybody is communicated and honest, then it's okay. That's the point I was trying to make, Kiss the Cook. He says, no, we have lunch, dinner together several times throughout the year. One in particular, I hug her. I tell her I love her, but we're friends, and that's all. And I've been married 32 years, together for 40. Yeah, and that's great, Kiss the Cook.
And I'm guessing that you and your wife is not unaware that these other women exist. And
like she's listening right now going, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, you better get a lawyer. As long as there is communication and these things are understood, friendship is a whole different thing. Shaq is not talking about friendship. Shaq is chatting up girls in a chat up kind of way, not a friendship way, Kiss the Cook. She Skull says, I've got ex-coworkers wanting to go to a club from time to time because I can take them out and expense it as entertainment. And I always say, no, I'm not putting myself in that situation out of respect for my wife. And I always tell them no, whether they're joking or not. That's smart. That's smart. Because you know the expectation of your wife. Here's the thing, Shaq. If you get into a relationship with a woman, you guys should talk about the expectations. And if you can't abide by her expectations, then you shouldn't be with her. And vice versa. It goes both ways. CK says, yeah, it's insane that when the shoe is on the other foot, women cheat, then get half on the divorce. Today's lessons, kids, don't get married. Well, that's kind of a cynical way of looking at it.
But also the person who has more is the person that's usually losing the half, and that's more likely to be the man.
Yeah, it could go either way.
Yeah, like there are women who have lost half.
Yeah.
It's rare because they're usually not the ones that have the most money, but when it happens, it does happen.
It's happening more and more these days. Good for you gals. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, let's talk some college football stuff. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
It's fall football on The Fanatic. Catch all the live game play-by-play, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday day and night NFL games, plus the Saturday NCAA football game of the week. It's all right here on the Valley's home for football. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben, from the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
The GCU men's basketball squad is coming off their winningest season in 35 years, their third trip to the NCAA tournament in 4 years, and their first ever NCAA tournament victory. Returning 4 of their 5 starters in Ray Harrison, Colin Moore, Duke Brennan, and reigning WAC Player of the Year Tyon Grant Foster, the Lopes look to defend their WAC titles and make a run to the Sweet 16. With a non-conference slate including Stanford, Georgia, and crosstown rival Arizona State, you won't want to miss a moment of the action. So join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on the home of the Lopes, 1580 The Fanatic. Lopes up.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet. Weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Uh-oh. Sunspots are back. 'Tis the season. The Sunspots are back on the text line. I will save you from their texts. I can always tell when it's not real. I don't understand. Why do they do this? Is it somebody with the Phoenix Suns? It's got to be. Why do they text into the show? Oh, he's great seeing the Suns beat the LA Fakers. Fire. You're not even connected to the conversation right now. Why do you do this? I mean, I can work around it. I have for years. I don't understand why they do it and why they send the text to this show.
Who can say? I have no idea either.
We've already talked about the Suns. It's not like we were not going to. Is this helping sell tickets? You think there's a lack of Phoenix Suns awareness? I just don't get it.
I don't understand it either.
Somebody who understands marketing, help me with this. Why this little show are they throwing multiple texts every day? Big Berg says, are we sure it's not Big George? I'm not sure of anything with Big George anymore.
Yeah.
After he created this fictitious teacher who was going to send in things every day. I don't know what to believe.
Who's based on an actual teacher that he impersonated.
I want to hear from the actual teacher.
I think we deserve that.
As soon as I said it, I was like, oh, maybe we don't. I don't know.
Just, but but there's no way to verify it with Big George.
I'm not sure of anything anymore. Beer Bob says, think those Sunspots are trying to text Jim Rome? That's interesting. But the texts don't come in during the Jim Rome show. They come in during this show. Yeah, every time it's during this show. So somebody over there knows that we have a live text line, which means we got a bunch of people listening. More people listening probably than any other time during the day. I don't know. Maybe more on Jim Rome. I don't know. But they know there's people actually involved and interactive right here. So I guess maybe, I'll take it as a compliment. It's something, Phoenix Suns, you could just call us. We'll have someone on, unless you're just not allowed to because you're on with the other radio station. So this is your way of trying to trickle out. How do you do it with the other radio stations? We're the only radio station in the Valley who does what we do with the text line, as far as I know. And I'm baffled that nobody else has tried this. Baffled. because you're missing out. This is why we don't have guests. I'd rather hear from you guys than some tired old sports writer or some tired old used to be an athlete. So I don't know why nobody else can figure this formula out and work it and maybe improve it. But we just keep getting these damn texts, these completely disconnected texts.
And it's always pro Suns, and it's always generic and vague, and it usually ends with something like, the Suns beat the Lakers, fire. It's always something weirdly generic like that. Like someone put it into an AI and had it spit it back out. It's so
maybe it
useless.
is AI.
Maybe, but this was happening before that really became a thing.
Well, that's why I called it a bot, because it seemed like the kind of bot that would do stuff like this on Twitter or Facebook or something. I don't know. Florida Mustard says probably some clown intern just checking a box, trying to climb the ladder. Kind of need to respect him or her. No, I don't.
Why? Like if you do something that's completely, it at least appears to be useless. Like I don't know who was listening to that text and going, oh, you know what? I actually will watch the Suns now. I hadn't planned on it before, but then this Suns bot texted into the Daily Blender and said that victory over the Lakers was fire. So now I'm going to watch the Suns. Who is this helping?
Give me a pen. All right, I'm going to SUNS. There's a team? Come on, man.
Who is this for?
Cheese Skull says they got a text line at a Denver sports station, but they do not interact with it the way you guys do. Here's why. Let me explain to you why. I would imagine some program directors, if they come across what we do, they're probably like, wow, that's very interactive. And there's a lot of people who interact with the show. So they're like, we should try that. What they don't anticipate is the ginormous egos that are usually behind most sports talk show hosts. They want to hear from themselves more than they want to hear from you,
and they want to show off all the people that they know. Like I was talking to a guy one time, and he was just like, "Look at all of these numbers that I have from various athletes," and like you just like it's a point of pride, and you're just like, nobody cares but you. You're doing this show for you, and that's not how radio works.
Well, it's at least not how this show works.
Yeah, or at least that's not how radio should work.
Right. So, I mean, I'd rather hear from you guys more than anybody, because all of sports is passion and opinion. Who's more passionate? Who has more opinion than fans? This is a show for fans by fans. I'm no expert. I mean, I've gotten pretty good at this over the last 7 years of making it a sports show. Or at least, so actually, this has been a sports show, I think, 10 years now. Because a couple of years in Palm Springs and now this, I would give myself high level of understanding of some of these sports and be able to talk about other stuff. I am still stupid, and I admit it. It's mostly because I have only so much time in my life.
Yeah,
but I'm just a fan like anyone else. You guys don't have all the time in the world to dig down and get the stats and understand the inner workings and sit there with the chalk and figure out what that play is and how this whole thing. Keon does. That's why he's here.
I have a girlfriend who is shockingly patient with
also
all those
important
things.
in life in general.
Who's just surprisingly willing to let me watch another football game for the third time this week that I've already watched on Sunday and then watched again on Monday. Why? I don't know. Because she likes me for some reason. It confuses me too.
It's Keon's job to know things. It's not my job to know things. It's my job to try to keep this thing moving and entertaining and compelling. And I find you guys more entertaining and compelling than a sports writer, than an athlete, than anybody else. You guys, that's why they call if you're new to the show, you're like, why do they call it the fourth dimension? Because originally I said, you guys are the fourth co-host. There's Randy, there's Keon, there's me, and then you guys, the fourth co-host. This stream of consciousness that comes through on the text line. Of course, then Randy says, no, you're the fourth dimension. I'm like, no, the fourth co-host. Nope, fourth dimension. And then that stuck because you can't stop Randy.
You can't stop Randy, and it is a catchy name, to be fair.
So anyway, yeah, I just don't get why other stations don't do this.
I don't know either. Like I'm
glad they don't. We're
unique.
Try. Yeah, we're unique because of it. Because, I mean, think what you will. Keon does not have a big ego. Randy doesn't have a big ego. I don't have a big ego. I mean, we all have egos. I mean, everybody does. You got to have a little ego in this
Or
kind of business.
Or you're not going to make it anywhere.
But yeah, I don't need to have you guys hear what I think more than I want to hear what you think. Chief Skull says, when I listen to another station in Denver, I still never paid attention to it as much as with sports. It was more background noise. And then I found 1580. I found myself paying attention more to sports and watching it because the 1580 format and the fourth dimension interaction. That's cool. I never thought of that, but that's cool, man. That's good. That's a funny thing because I find a lot of you guys, some of you guys are morons, but a lot of you guys, very insightful when it comes to sports and things. So I really do appreciate you guys as the fourth co-host, fourth dimension. You're not getting paid. You can just forget that right now.
Yeah, because look, and then
I know that was coming next.
You have to split it between all of you. It would be change at that point. There would be no point in getting paid. It's more of a hassle to collect the 15 cents.
Right. The stamp would be more than what the check would be. So yeah. Raven Kid says, I was a sophomore in high school when I started listening to you guys, and now I'm a senior in college. You guys have existed forever. Like in your perception, yes, I guess so. And you guys actually listen to my sometimes dumb takes. Sometimes.
Damn.
Nothing will ever change between me and Raven Kid.
I can see that.
Swave Dave says, Jeffrey, I think you are somewhat uniquely poised for the position you're in due to your experience. Doing stand-up, interacting, performing in front of people. I don't think there's a lot of regular radio personalities who could do that. There are. They could. Radio guys take phone calls. They can take phone calls. They can take a text. It's just they don't want you to get in the way of what they're blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? I most of what I say on this show, I don't know. Somebody's ever measured it? At least half is texts.
Yeah, I mean,
at least
it feels like it. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know who would measure that and not want to kill themselves after trying to. They're trying to figure out how much time and how many words are used that way.
As far as I've heard, there is no show with a text line where they actually go back and read the texts every segment.
Yeah, it's a flow of consciousnly. You guys are in the room. So, I don't know. They could if they wanted.
Nothing stopping them.
Hurry Harry says, I was going to mention that it takes humility to do what you guys do and do it well. We are humiliated on a daily basis. Oftentimes when we get our paychecks. He says, you guys do a great job. Well, thank you, Hurry Harry. Silver Pop says, Jeffrey, did you just say the blender will open an OnlyFans? I did not say that.
Nobody said anything of the sort. Wow.
Never going to say that. Halfy Lefty says, yep. And instead you get to hear from us texters that are just tired and or old. I don't think you guys are tired or old. I think you guys are awesome. Most of you. Some of you are idiots. Berg says, passion. Who loves mustard more than me? Say what?
I don't know. It started this football season.
Yeah,
I have to think there's a bet or something there.
He hates mustard.
Yeah, but he's been talking about the glory of mustard since at least the beginning of the NFL season, maybe even further back than that.
Florida Mustard says, all right, here we go. Third attempt. Randy is 5'8", 275. Keon is 6 foot, 185. Jeffco, 5'10", 199.
Just wrong.
He might be right on Randy's height. I don't know. No, Randy's taller than that. Isn't he?
I think Randy's taller than that. Yeah.
You're getting closer, Florida Mustard.
He made me taller than I am, so that's nice.
Yeah, Keon's not. He's
I'm
not upset
not
about
6
that.
foot. He's never been 6 foot in my life. But thank you.
Number one Rattlers fan says, take a guess at how many different characters, radio personality Pat McMahon has done. Huh? I don't know. I don't understand that. What are you trying to say? One? I mean, him? I don't know. I like Pat McMahon. Don't get me wrong. Oh, wait, Pat McMahon. Sorry, I thought you were saying Pat McAfee. Pat McMahon. Oh, wow. He was awesome. Is he still around? I don't know.
I was just trying to do a quick Google.
Yeah, is he still alive? I think he is. I hope he is. Gerald was awesome back when I was a kid.
Pat McMahon, still here.
Oh, good.
Still here.
Okay.
89, still here.
Why am I doing this, number one Rattlers fan? Swave Dave says, get off my lawn, you young whippersnapper, so I can go take a nap. Okay.
It's a radio show. You can go take a nap.
Yeah,
whenever
just
you like.
click. Click. There you go. Sweet dreams. Cheese Skull says, for all this fourth mention love on 1580, when will I ever be in the Texter Hall of Fame? I get full say so on any Play-Doh statue made of me. Well, we don't do statues, but I did want to do like these little pewter class ring things. I thought would be cool. But we haven't done a Hall of Fame inception in quite some time. I don't know why. Probably because everybody kept asking, so I just keep putting it off.
Yeah.
People got to stop asking. And then I forget about it completely. And when they ask again, I feel bad. And then I'm annoyed. Fighting Wampa says, so I guess if Kiss the Cook tomorrow wants to change his name to Kiss It All Goodbye, safe to say his wife didn't know about his lady friends. No, I think that is a safe bet. That's a safe bet. But I doubt that's it. He seems like a stand-up guy. We were going to talk about college football stuff. I was going to, and then I don't know what just happened.
And then we got derailed by a damn sunspot. That's what happened.
Damn sunspot. That's right. That's what it was. Still don't get it. Anyway, when we come back, let's get to that college football stuff. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Did you know Harman Solar has gone super high tech? There's an amazing tool at harmansolar.com that'll give you an instant ballpark solar estimate using satellites from space. You just type in a little information, and within seconds, you'll have an idea of just how little money it takes to save big on that monthly electric bill. I did it, and within seconds, they measured my roof and calculated my savings. It's very impressive. Go to harmansolar.com and give it a try yourself. That's harmansolar.com.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
4 years. That's how long it took Democrats to ruin our economy and plunge our southern border into anarchy. Who helped them hurt us? Ruben Gallego. Washington could have cut taxes for Arizona families, but Ruben blocked the bill. And his fellow Democrats gave a bigger break to the millionaire class in California and New York. They played favorites and cost us billions. And Ruben wasn't done yet. Democrats could have secured the border. Instead, they invited an invasion and used our tax dollars to pay for it. Ruben Gallego even backed the law to let them vote in our elections. Don't give Gallego and the Democrats another 4 years to hurt us. Give your support to a real Arizona leader, Kari Lake. Kari and the Republicans will secure the border, support our families, and never turn their backs on us. Kari Lake for Senate.
I'm Kari Lake, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Kari Lake for Senate and the NRSC.
Your home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. And before we get to the college football stuff, number one Rattlers fan wants to know if Keon wants a pizza bet. Washington versus Detroit. Who goes farther? in the playoffs.
Who goes farther? Detroit, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Detroit. I don't understand.
Like
There's no bet here.
They've been building this for a few years now, where Washington just started. And,
yeah, Washington's having a nice season.
It's a nice season. They're ahead of schedule, but like it is a fourth place schedule that they're playing this season, where Detroit's again playing a first place schedule and doing quite well. They're a better football team. They should go further. I don't want to do that bet because I think Detroit's better.
You know how they have those bumper stickers, like "Ask me about my grandchild" or something like that. For me, it's "Don't talk to me about my Colts." You keep your mouth shut about my Colts. I don't want to talk about my Colts.
You close your damn mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about NFL here in a little bit. Right now, let's talk about Deion Sanders taking Colorado to bowl eligibility. It's been 8 years since they've been in this position, and it's already happened. Winning, you got to win 6 out of 12 games, and if I'm not mistaken, they're there now.
Yeah, Colorado 6-2, and good start to the year. I really didn't believe that much in this Colorado team. I thought their locker room was
after
bad.
Last year too, right?
Yeah, after last year, but last year, like that was year one with Deion. Like I didn't expect it to be a magical increase in wins, but they
thought it might be better than what it was, and that did give you proper pause about what would happen this year.
Yeah, and they managed to win some really good games this year, some quality games. So I'll give Deion a lot of credit for that, and Shedeur Sanders a lot of credit, and Travis Hunter, who is, I believe, the Big 12 offensive player and defensive player of the week this week, because he can do that. I look, Colorado's been fantastic, and they deserve the credit for, I think, exceeding those expectations, because their locker room looked like not good at the beginning of this year. I've seen a lot of things where players are throwing each under the bus, and you've got the star wide receiver saying that the offensive line sucks. Like those guys have to go out there and do their jobs, and I just think that that's bad for a locker room, but it doesn't seem to have mattered, at least so far this year.
So Deion Sanders, of course, with his son Shedeur. Is he right or is he wrong that people should be talking about Shedeur Sanders in the Heisman Trophy conversation? He says he's not even mentioned. Oh, my bad. He's my son. That's why. Is that why?
I don't think that's the only reason why. Like, I think Shadeur's name should probably come up a little bit more, but like that has got, I mean, you can stop with the woe is me. Everybody hates this kind of stuff. The fact of the matter is people are talking more about Travis Hunter as a Heisman Trophy candidate. It's not like anybody's overlooking Colorado in this. Travis Hunter's been very impressive, but Shedeur Sanders has not been a better football player this year than Cam Ward. He hasn't been a better college football player this year than Dillon Gabriel. So give me a break.
So let's take a look at the FanDuel, at least, numbers coming out of week 9. Dillon Gabriel, as you mentioned, he's actually at the top of the Vegas odds, at least at plus 230. Cam Ward after that, plus 3.0. And then Hunter is plus 350. That's top 3. You got to go all the way down to 8th place where Shedeur Sanders is, and he's got odds of plus 5,000. So Vegas, a lot of times is pretty good about, being on track with who's looking good for the Heisman, right? So,
I mean, they usually do, because they're responding to these games from week to week. So you've got the highs and the lows of all of it. Yeah, like what Dillon Gabriel has done at Oregon is just more impressive than what Shedeur has done. Shedeur doesn't have the numbers, just plain and simple. He doesn't have the numbers. He hasn't played the same level of competition. Same for Cam Ward. And Travis Hunter, even though, we're talking about a guy on the same team as Shedeur, he does have the numbers, and he's doing it on offense and defense.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was the offensive and defensive player of the week in the Big 12, because the guy is just playing corner and wide receiver, and quite frankly, being pretty dominant at both.
You know what we need? Here's what we need. We need a pneumatic tube. Like those pneumatic tubes that sometimes they'll have at like CVS over here near me. They got a pneumatic tube that comes out for your prescriptions. If you're in the second lane, it shoots this little cartridge at you, and you put your card in there. then they send it back to you with the prescription, your card back. We need a pneumatic tube where I can send people messages. I want to send Deion Sanders a message. I want to put a little card in the tube. STFU. Send it right to him. We should have a pneumatic tube. We need to have a pneumatic tube installed. And I want to hear that sound, that sweet, sweet sound every time. Because Deion Sanders, my message is STFU.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's too much to ask. T-Licious says, I'll do the pizza bet with the Lions fan. Find each other on Twitter.
Yeah, just you.
We don't want to be responsible for this.
Media, yeah, just you guys sort it.
Oh, Swazman just sent me a picture of a very cute beagle, very cute puppy. Says, hey, Jeffrey, my new job with Bonnie, the hound dog. Sports-wise, I'm taking another family pet, the Georgia Bulldogs, to win it all. Well, that's a brave prediction, I guess.
I mean, is it?
He sent me pictures of a cute puppy.
Yeah, like the cute puppy goes a long way, but like they're the second ranked team in the country. Not exactly being bold there is all I'm saying.
So Rough Rob understands something. You want to say burn in hell Yankees? Okay, I'm all for that. But I'm not going to encourage the other team. So I'll go ahead and give you your burn in hell Yankees. That's it. Good to hear from you, Rough Rob. Been a minute. Baker's Cocky Hen says maybe Travis Hunter can play quarterback for the Colts. At least we know he doesn't get winded and asked to sit out. Listen, the news came out today, and I'm very happy that Anthony Richardson has been benched and in favor of Joe Flacco. I just don't know what the future is for this team, to be honest. I don't know what comes next. I don't see Anthony Richardson ever being the guy. And I don't see Joe Flacco being the answer either. My hands are up in the air. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Yeah. I don't know what happens now. Maybe we'll win a game. Maybe we won't. Maybe, there'll be something to look forward to. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you'll win some games. I mean, like your team's good enough and Flacco plays well enough that you're going to be in games. But yeah, this was supposed to be a just add quarterback kind of team. And, because of the youth and the inexperience and, the struggles of development for Anthony Richardson, he hasn't become the quarterback that you just add.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Baker Cocky Hens. I
just brought his whole mood down. There you go.
He says, pretty sure the Colts are going to do what they did this year and take the Browns quarterback. Hopefully it's Watson. Oh, if it's Watson, I'm done with the Colts. I will disavow my fandom of the Colts at that moment. And I'm not even kidding. I will find me a new team.
Mm-hmm.
If the Colts go that low and they go low and dirty and they pick him up, especially, worse is who he is off the field. But second, he's bad on the field these days.
He's not any good.
Don't even put that evil in your mouth, Baker's Cocky Hens. I'd rather have Jameis Winston. They're not going to give him up. That's all they've got.
Oh,
oof.
The off the field stuff with Jameis is not as bad as Deshaun, but it's
not
great. It's not great either.
Leave these guys.
Maybe leave Jameis alone too.
Leave them both there.
Yeah.
That's where they belong.
It's funny actually because Jameis was trying to talk about what a good person he thought Deshaun Watson was, and I was like, I don't know that you, who groped an Uber driver, get to be the guy that's trying to defend him.
Nope. You get to be quiet.
I don't know that you get to be the person saying that, but that's fine.
Rough Rob says, don't worry. Ubers will be available next draft. Colts won't be in a position for that. Or any good quarterback, probably. They're going to be, I don't know, maybe they can.
I don't know, because, we had 5 of them go in the first round of this draft. So if you're in the top 10, I'm not saying we're going to have 5 again, but we are going to have another pretty deep class, it looks like.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, Watson, done with the NFL. He has no chance unless the Browns are dumb enough to keep him. You're probably right.
I think when the Browns are done paying him, I think that they're out of the Deshaun Watson business.
I think they're out now. They just,
Yeah, but it's all guaranteed. So either you ride it out and see if it gets any better or not. But you're essentially this front office and potentially even coaching staff. Once they give up on Deshaun Watson, you're giving up on everybody all the way up to GM.
Well, I could have told you that when it happened. Let's get back to college football for a second because Jack Tuttle the Michigan quarterback, has retired from football after he got a 5th concussion. Can you retire from college? I don't know if it's the right term. I think at that point, you're just quitting football. You're not retiring because you are not professional.
Well, that's kind of changing, but they do still refer to it as retiring. Like it is considered a college career, and you're walking away from it. Either you go to the next level and the career continues, or you're done. And in his case, because of the head injuries, and boy, we'd hate to see this happen to Tua. They especially if it happens for medical reasons, they call that a medical retirement. So.
Well, Tuttle had a lot going on. He had an elbow injury. He had a UCL repaired, his throwing arm, and he's just like, I didn't fully recover from that. And he said, I got the damn concussions. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I don't want to die, so I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a life after football that you still have to live, and especially if you're not going to be playing the game at the next level. That walk away while you still can, man.
When people quit football in college, they should also put in the story what their major is, so you know which direction they're going in life. Don't know what Jack Tuttle's going to do next. Hopefully he gets a degree.
The old NCAA commercial that used to play during March Madness all the time. Some of these athletes will be going pro in something other than sports. Like that's Jack Tuttle right now.
Robert from Surprise says, so Robert from Surprise was the guy who made the bet that the Raiders would sweep the Kansas City Chiefs. Did not happen.
Pretty much immediately.
And he says, I owe Keon some pizza to share with the crew. Oh, okay. So the bet was specifically between you and him. And I said, well, don't send pizza over till we're there.
Yeah. I can't eat all of it. I'm just telling you,
not at once. Well, let's be honest.
Yeah, over time, yeah.
Yeah.
But like the best time to eat pizza is when it's hot. So
True that. So, Robert from Surprise, don't just be sending over random pizza. We can't all get in on that. What's going on your screen there?
The Caps and the Rangers are playing, and the game just started, and it's 2-1 Caps. Like there's no defense being played in this game at all.
I'll be honest, that does deserve a second take right there. What do we got here? 56-35. Oh, geez. This is the kind of text I get sometimes. If you have a friend, a family member that would like to complete this survey, you may forward this to them too. Block. Swazman says, Jeffrey, do you think the Dodgers will sweep? I put money on it. I don't know. I haven't been watching. Maybe. I mean, it looks good. But again, a 4th game, home game for the team that doesn't want to get swept. It's a dangerous game. That's the last thing they want is to get swept. Yeah. As a fan of teams that have been swept, that ain't no fun.
I can't imagine. And the players is probably less fun for them.
Very likely it does happen though. So I don't know, Swaz, man. I don't know. I mean, nobody knows. Robert from Surprise. I'm not reading that.
Good God.
Well, it's about the Dodgers, and I refuse.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's fair. That's fair.
He says, "I'll get you 3 or 4 pizzas."
If you want, I think the bet was just the one, but I'm not going to say no to more pizzas.
Well, we're not greedy or nothing.
Yeah. The one is fine.
Swazman says, I'm also betting on the under that the Yankees are swinging at air. And then Robert from Surprise says, it's also a bullpen game today. Well, if it's a bullpen game, nobody's swinging at air. You're going to see some offense, I bet. It's a bullpen game. That's usually a high offense kind of day, isn't it?
Usually, yeah. World Series bullpen game is a crazy concept to me, but okay.
Slow Mo Zo says, hey, Jeffrey, those tickets for racing are for next weekend, the 8th and the 9th. I think you said this weekend. Did I? Okay, well, I didn't mean that. You are correct. It's for Friday and Saturday. Okay? Friday for the truck racing, Saturday for the Xfinity Championship. We should give some of those away.
We probably should.
I think today's the day I just let you know they exist. I think tomorrow will be the day I actually start giving stuff away. Because we also have some ASU tickets, I think.
That's true.
Do we?
I believe so. I mean, I
did Radio Ron forward that to you?
Not yet. He usually tends to do it the day of whatever the giveaway is. So I don't have anything in my email from him.
No, we're not doing caller 47, Hefty Lefty. We're not going to just tire everybody out. Forget it. All right, listen. Hour 2 is done. Hour 3 is next. NFL on the way. It's a Daily Blender on 1580, The Fanatic.
The Fanatic is your home for fall football. Catch the NFL and NCAA live games on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count. A real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben, from the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. You get the idea. And now get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Let's say you've got questions. You're looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Well, Harman Solar has the answers. Hi, I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, and listen, there's a couple of ways you can go here. One, visit harmansolar.com, browse around, because right across the page, they got links to all sorts of great information, like frequently asked questions, equipment, tax credits, even testimonials. Or just give them a call. 800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to harmansolar.com.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more cents. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
My name is Mary Grace. There are a few misconceptions about Alzheimer's. It's not just memory loss. It's the loss of mobility, the risk of falling.
For more information, contact the Alzheimer's Association at alz.org. Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour. Quiet, people, settle down because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your brother. Well, that doesn't happen very often, does it?
Sometimes you just don't words very good. It
Thousands of times I have said that. I don't think I've ever fallen off the horse on my own name. Huh. Wow, that's
But you are somebody who says your name at least 3 times a day, every day. You ever watch like just a really good shooter just airball a free throw? Like once in a blue moon, but it does happen. Like it just does happen.
Man, I need a drink. Excuse me. Introduce yourself.
I'm in the control room. I'm Keon Rose, and I'm happy to be here.
Hi, it's Jeffrey O'Brien. Can you imagine somebody tuning in the show for the first time? They're like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" It's the Daily Blender. That's what I said.
It happens.
You guys are on the text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And yes, Kyle G, Lions are putting up Madden stats in the first half against the Titans. 9 passing yards, 5 offensive touchdowns. Over the last 5 games, 24 touchdowns, 19 incompletions. I don't think 9 passing yards it can be correct. Is that right?
It probably can, because if you look at the passing total for that game, they didn't really throw the ball. It's just Jared Goff. Did Jared Goff even get over 100 yards that game? Just like genuinely, they didn't have to throw the ball, so they didn't. Yeah, 85 yards for Jared Goff, but 3 touchdowns.
I don't know why I've taken this moment to fall apart.
It's probably just a combination of things like the cough and
I'm eating M&Ms to try to soothe my throat. That sounds like medical and healthy.
There's some doctor that's going, no, it's 9 out of 10 doctors agree. M&Ms.
Yeah, why are we talking about this?
I don't know how we got on the subject, but
Lions, Matt. Okay. Kiss the Cook, before we left the last hour, said the Yuck Guys versus my number 3 Penn State. He says, hope you guys gave some love to Penn State.
We didn't, but yeah, Penn State, they look really good. I do think that they'll beat the Ohio State, because when you put Ryan Day in these games where, you know, there's a team that's what is it, a top 5 team? When you have a top 5 team or something like that, Ryan Day's like 0-7 in those games. It's not great for Ohio State.
If you ever, I mean, you still, whenever you hear Penn State, think about how they had a child molester, then a coach that didn't care. Does that pop in your head every time you see Penn State? Sandusky.
Not really, just because it's not the same people there. You know, like I know
it's not the same people, but it's just the first thing pops into my head. That's tainted. Penn State is tainted.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, but like to me, it's like you've got to change how the things work. Like you've got to make sure
because there was a lot of fans who didn't care either. That was the thing.
There was a lot of fans, there were a lot of people in that athletic department that knew what was going on. Like it was a complete structural thing. Nothing like that can happen with just 1 or 2 bad people. But they have cleared those people out. So I don't want to sit there and like
bastards.
Look at the brand and say, because this horrible thing happened with this brand, that all the people working there now are also tainted, even though they weren't there.
Every time I look at Subway, I'm like, geez, I hope Jared's not in there. I hope Jared's not in there.
I hope not too, for so many reasons. Just so many reasons.
He's still in prison.
Good.
Moist One says, LOL, Penn State is not winning. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it depends also on if Drew Aller is healthy, but like, I just don't trust Ohio State, man. Like I don't. They don't look good. Anytime they play somebody who's actually good, they also look bad. That's just not a team I trust. Like I don't feel, 100% about Penn State if Drew Aller's dealing with that knee injury. I have no idea. But until I see Ryan Day beat a team that's in that top 5, I'm not going to pick him.
Moist One says, and you trust Drew Aller?
I don't trust him, but I trust him more. It's a comparison thing, Moist One. I trust him more than the guy that's never won any of these games.
Kiss the Cook says, name a college program or team that isn't tainted. Apollo Hair College. Delicious says, ASU fans will have to accept 7 or 8 wins this season. Last 5 games are tough. Well, we're still in better shape than last year. As long as we win the Territorial Cup, that's all I care about.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be bowl eligible by the end of the season too.
We should be bowl eligible by the end of the ASU U of A game.
I mean, if that's going to be the 6th win, then yeah. But I
even if that's it,
I do think they're going to win a few more games before
Don't
that
care.
happens.
Don't care. The U of A
That's
game, that's the bowl.
That's the important one. But yeah, I think you'd like to go to a bowl game as well.
I don't care.
You don't care, but you're
I
not
don't
on the
care.
team.
Yeah, I don't care.
So it's okay.
Berg says Ryan Day is not a good coach.
I wouldn't say that, but
No, Berg said that.
He clearly is. He clearly has some flaws that make him hard to trust in these big moments and in these big games.
Moist One says James Franklin has won those games before.
He's won one of them. Like I actually was looking at the stat earlier. They had it on the TV, and they were putting the records up against each other. James Franklin has won just one of them, which is not great. Does not fill me with a lot of hope. Ryan Day never wins them. He does not win them.
Hamilton Porter says we Michigan fans call him Crying Ryan for a reason.
Oh boy.
Big George says, hey, Jeffrey, I was away from my desk for the last hour and I just came back to you hacking up a lung. Do you need 911? Do you need Dr. House on the phone? No, I'm fine. I ate some M&Ms and it worked. See, I haven't coughed since, have I? Been smooth as glass. Not going to lie to you. There is a tickle there. But now I got to keep it suppressed. Berg says, before the season, if you had told me that ASU would have a 5-win season, I'd say that was a successful season. 6, 7, whatever it may end up is, that's a bonus.
Yeah. Like it's already been a great year. And
I'm happy.
Obviously, that U of A game, which looked at the beginning of the year like, well, I don't know what kind of shape ASU is going to be in for that game. They look like they would be the favored team going into that game.
Yeah, whatever happens, I'm happy. I mean, I want more, but I think we're heading that direction. So Cardinal Art says Ryan Day is night, not day against opponents, if you ask me. All right. Did that hurt? Because
that was look, it was a bit of a reach, is all I'm saying. I get what you're going for.
Probably got to stretch before you start doing that sort of thing.
Just a little
hammy's got to be hurting.
Oh man.
T-Licious says Ryan Day is what Jim Harbaugh was before he won big games.
I mean,
okay.
Guy that's known for winning everywhere he goes.
Hamilton Porter says James Franklin is nearly undefeated against teams not named Ohio State or Michigan.
Yeah, he struggles against Ohio State. I just know that I've seen this Ohio State team play football. I don't like them. I don't think they're good. It's just that simple. I don't think they're good. I don't like what Ryan Day has done this season. And I don't trust him. If you want to laugh at that, and if I turn out to be wrong, fine. But just know that I picked against the guy that does not beat top 5 teams.
Moist One says Jim Garbajaw left for a reason. Well, yeah, he was about to get suspended.
Yeah, he broke many rules, and the NCAA wanted to drop a hammer on him and his program, so he left. Mm-hmm. Are you suggesting that Ryan Day is the reason he left? Because I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say a lot of things.
Well, that's true. There should be a list of things that you shouldn't.
Oh no, it's not about
would or you wouldn't
shouldn't.
say.
It's not. Yeah, it's not shouldn't. It's would.
There's just got to be a line somewhere where you're not saying nonsense.
See, I could tell you what I would not say, but then I'd say it. So then I can't say it.
It wouldn't be a thing that you wouldn't say. Yeah, good point.
I'll give you an example. Pumpernickel.
You wouldn't say it.
I just did. But normally I would not.
But normally you wouldn't. All right.
I won't.
This is an exception. The exception being if you're explaining that you wouldn't say it.
Not saying it.
Got it.
Cardinal Art says, I see the coach at Indiana might be consideration for Day's job if Day doesn't get it together. I forget the coach's name at Indiana, but I just heard Google him. All he does is win. Huh?
Can you rephrase the last part of that text again?
Cardinal Art, that's not real. We don't have the brain power for that today.
But I know I get what you're saying. The Indiana coach is a guy that you would probably look at, and it doesn't take much for Ohio State fans and Ohio State boosters to get really impatient with the coach in there.
Big George says, I don't like Ryan Day's face. He looks like the villain from any old Lone Ranger episode. It looks like he's about to rob a train or a stagecoach. Okay, now I got to look this guy up.
You're not exactly wrong.
I got to look this up.
Oh my God.
You are correct. You are correct.
It's the beard.
Speaking of which,
it's the beard.
If you take a picture of Brian Dable and put it next to Kevin James today, same person.
Same person.
Same weirdly dark beard on a bald guy.
You shouldn't get Kevin James to play Sean Payton in a movie. You should get him to play Brian Dable in a movie.
Too late. It's already happened.
Yeah.
Moist one says, Day isn't the guy, but if Ohio State loses, I will shove a foot-long Subway sandwich right up Sandusky Highway.
You really don't have to do that. I require none of that. If I'm wrong, I'll just be wrong.
I feel like someone's looking for an excuse to shove a foot-long Subway sandwich right up Sandusky Highway.
If that's what you want to do, just go ahead and do that. You don't have to. You don't need the game or me. I don't want to be involved in this at all.
No, listen, practice safe sandwich. Cardinal Art says the coach basically says if you don't know about him, then Google him. He just wins. So he's saying you need to Google me if you don't know about me. That's dumb as hell.
Okay. I mean,
that's the kind of ego we were talking about earlier.
And also it's right up there with the Geno Smith. They wrote me off, but I didn't write back. That's
that
really
was badly written.
That's corny. That just is.
888-368-1580. Moist one says tuna sub backwards is bust a nut.
I hate that you know that.
You write that. That's brilliant. If you wrote that, I hope you wrote that.
I hate that you actually know that. That makes me upset. I'm actually.
That is a proper joke right there.
I'm actually mad.
Seriously, Moist one. Did you write that? Because that's true. That is absolutely. I just read it backwards. Tuna sub. Nope, he's right. Oh my God. Oh, hey, by the way.
Oh my God.
Sounds like Giselle Bundchen has earned her black belt and doing the nasty. Because now she's having a baby with that jiu-jitsu instructor. No.
That whole thing
they weren't cheating. No, she wasn't cheating on Tom Brady. No.
Well, to be I don't think anybody said that wasn't happening. Who said that was not happening?
So this has been reported that Giselle has been impregnated by Joaquin Valente. And he's 37. She's 44. Isn't that 44? Because I remember that 35, people are like, ooh, you got to get special tests if you're having a baby at that age. 44. Oof. That's
medical science, I assume, is
rich people have different kinds of babies than we do, I guess.
Yeah. And also you can just afford to see a doctor more often and more frequently. I mean,
this is going to be awkward for them because they've never admitted they're dating. They've been dating since June of 2023, but never admitted it. Of course, Giselle and Tom Brady divorced in October of 22, but the conversation about Joaquin Valente being in the picture came well before that.
Yeah. Which
you guys can just do your own math.
It's not correct. It's not right what she did. She did tell him not to go back for another season of football. And for whatever reason, Tom Brady decided.
Or I'll cheat on you. Did she say that?
I don't know that she said, or I'll cheat on you.
She should have added that part.
Maybe
because
she did.
On the announcement of
I wasn't
the baby, Tom Brady started posting some weird crap on Instagram.
Tom needs to stay off of social media.
Some hearts and a sunset picture and something about a child or what.
Tom, let it go.
I don't think Tom's over her.
Of course he's not. Of course he's not. But your career was over. You said, look, I'm coming back for one more year. And then after that, you said, you know what? Actually, I meant another year after this. And then she cheated on you during that year.
I don't strange response, I think.
I don't
cheating on you.
She to her, I don't know, it's not a strange response, but it is the wrong one. To her, it's like, I put my entire relationship with you on hold so you could play football and be the greatest quarterback ever. Now I'm asking you to stop playing. And then you decided, after promising that you were in fact done, that you were not done. She quit on that man because she felt like he quit on her. And
So
Again,
there's the justification for cheating.
I'm not saying, again, I have said multiple times, she's wrong.
Keon says you can cheat as
she's wrong. But Tom Brady can't act like this fell out of the sky, is what I'm saying. You don't get to be surprised by this.
Yeah, Jet, you're right. More insult to injury. Tom Brady was paying the guy to train his wife.
Oh, no.
Honey, you should work with this guy.
Oh, that's awful. Oh, did he look up the instructor? Did he introduce them? Because that's worse.
He's like, look at it.
That's objectively worse.
He's just 5 stars, and it looks here like he works with a lot of women. Guess what, Giselle? Unless you can make sure he doesn't work with any other women, he will do unto you what he did unto Tommy. Anyway, moving on. Yesterday, we were going to talk about National Tight Ends Day. We ran out of time, and I thought it was interesting, the comparison between the rankings of the tight ends achievements versus the fantasy football points, which would be the achievement we judge it by. And it's different. There are differences on this. According to the story that I saw, now I don't remember if this was Espen or CBS or what, but there was a ranking of how people did on the National Tight End Day, and they had George Kittle at the top with 6 catches, 128 yards, and 1 touchdown. After that, Kyle Pitts, Cade Otton, and then Trey McBride of the Arizona Cardinals. So now I look over here at the fantasy football results, kind of different. Cade Otton was actually the highest point getter with 2 touchdowns, 81 yards, 9 receptions. He had 29.10 points. Second place was George Kittle with the stats I told you earlier and 27.8 points. Then after that, Kyle Pitts with his 27 points plus. Travis Kelce was in 4th place with 25 points even. Then Trey McBride. He was in 5th place, 24.4 points. So which one do we listen to? Do we just like look at the raw stats that create the points in fantasy football? Or do we look at, I don't know how they decide this with their breakdown.
I mean, it probably just comes from watching the game and watching the film and going back and going, okay, these plays happened in these moments. You know, so it wasn't just a bunch of yards. Like if you put up a bunch of yards and get a touchdown in garbage time, not that I don't know who did. I can't remember off the top of my head who didn't, but you're more valuable if the game was on the line, for instance, when you were putting up your numbers and your performance than if, you know, it was a blowout and you were just having a great day already.
By the way, do not run out and get Tucker Kraft.
Or do, but it's a waste.
No, don't.
It's up to you.
It's not going to happen again.
Just saying it's a bad idea.
Just don't see that as his norm yet. Wait till you see a little consistency before that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Try to find a little normal before you pull the trigger on that.
Just make sure.
I picked up Cade Otton off the waiver wire. And what do I look for? Consistency. And then what did I also look for? Opportunity. Because, man, you got one guy with a hammy and one guy's foot going the opposite direction. Feel like he's going to get some points for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I was right. So, you know, Tucker Kraft, this is not the savior. Now you put him on your bench or something if you got some space.
Yeah. If you've got a spot and you want to just see if it could happen again. Sure.
In Premier League, Ziggy's got him, but I don't feel like he's probably rostered heavily across the leagues, is he? I don't know. So Mark Andrews at least blipped in on National Tight End Day with the touchdown. But yeah, I don't know. So was this just because coaches were like, hey, it's National Tight End Day, let's get them involved? Or is this going to be the new norm? That's the thing I want to know.
I think it might be the new norm because if you just look at the tight end numbers going back a few weeks ago, the numbers have been trending up.
Yeah, a little bit.
So it's not, you know, like I have Mark Andrews, and let me tell you, the start of the year was brutal. But the last four weeks, I would say, he's been really solid, you know, consistently around 15, 16 points from him. Like that's a good trend that like some of these guys were asked to do things earlier in the year that just didn't generate stats. And now they're back to what they were doing before.
Cheese Skull says George Kittle is the one who came up with National Tight End Day. Maybe that explains why he's the winner. Well, fantasy football stats, he's in second place, so he's not far off. And you're right, number one Rattlers fan. There were 20 touchdowns by tight ends on Sunday. All right. Well,
it's not an NFL thing, but just according to fantasypros.com, Tucker Kraft is rostered on 73% of leagues in Yahoo and 79% of leagues in ESPN. So,
well, go ahead, take a look at him, click on him, and then see the inconsistencies there. And I don't know if Jordan Love or whoever is quarterbacking the Green Bay Packers. I don't know if that's going to be a safe guy to be playing. I don't know. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, more football stuff. We're finally 2 and almost a half hours in going to talk about Monday Night Football. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by GBank. Earn cashback rewards on every eligible gaming transaction. vsin.com/GBank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply.
Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel is now the betting favorite to win this year's Heisman Trophy, plus 260 to win the honor. Travis Hunter, the two-way star of the Colorado Buffaloes, is at plus 275. Cam Ward of the number 5 Miami Hurricanes, plus 325 to win the Heisman. Boise State running back Ashton Genty leads the nation in rushing, plus 475. Cade Klubnik of the Clemson Tigers, plus 2,500 to win the Heisman Trophy. The Tigers are currently ranked 11th. Georgia quarterback Carson Beck, plus 4,000. Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders, plus 5,000 to win the Heisman. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben, from the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message. Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect? Please? I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Don't miss a minute of the action when Sun Devil football returns to Mountain America Stadium to take on Big 12 Conference rival UCF in ASU's annual Salute to Service game. Levitt keeps the ball, takes off and runs to the left, to the 10, to the 5. Levitt dives for the end zone. Touchdown Devils! A 17-yard run by Sam Levitt. Get your ASU UCF tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, host of You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show. Now, why should you check out You Better You Bet? Because we bring you the most fun. We bring you the most insightful, the most entertaining show in the wagertainment world. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come alongside them. Plus, you'll get the best betting analysis anywhere from myself, Ken Barkley, and some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. So tune in weekdays, noon to 3 on Arizona sports betting station 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey, Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. All right, so Monday Night Football happened while a lot of us were watching the Suns game. And Steelers, yeah, I mean, they got to win 26-18. But am I wrong? It was 20 points of that from special teams. I mean, did Russell Wilson have a touchdown?
I think he did. Hold on.
I mean, does the extra point count as a special teams play? I don't know. Did he have a touchdown? I'm trying to find his stat sheet. I just don't see it. Pittsburgh had a field goal.
Yeah, he had a touchdown.
From the 31, the 25, the 27, and the 27. Chris Boswell was busy. And then Calvin Austin had a punt return, 73 yards for a touchdown. And then his other touchdown was a touchdown reception from Wilson. Here's his stats. Russell Wilson was 20 of 28 for 278 yards and a touchdown. All right. I mean, did he look great?
He looked pretty good. And like, you also have to give credit to the Giants defense. This team overall sucks, but the Giants defense is a respectable defense. That is a hard team to score the football on. And so, any day that you can get 26 points on the board, I don't think you get to be picky about how it happens.
We did mention that the Steelers have won 22 games in a row on Monday Night Football. And then Hamilton Porter says, yeah, fun fact, Mike Tomlin is undefeated on Monday Night Football. So does that span the entire career of Mike Tomlin? 22 games? Wow. That is
that's
amazing.
Pretty incredible, but he's been there for a very, very long time. Also, I just think this was kind of the perfect game because Mike Tomlin, undefeated on Monday Night Football. Daniel Jones has never won.
Well, that's not surprising.
That's not surprising, but not even on accident, not even in a bad game. You just sort of come away with it's 0-7.
Yeah,
it's
Daniel Jones needs to leave the NFL.
Well, sorry, 0-8 now, and he's 1 for 15 in all primetime games.
You should be very pleased.
Oh, I'm happy about it. Yeah. They keep trying to make it work with him. Keep doing that.
Everyone else should be appalled, and they probably should send him away to the CFL. No, don't do that. That's an international incident waiting to happen. Yeah. You'll finally have gone too far and pissed off the Canadians and end up in a war with some very polite people.
I just hope that they continue to employ Joe Schoen and Brian Dable and Daniel Jones for as long as they want to be there. I won't say no.
I think you're on the clock. You know what I mean? No kiss the cook. We don't care about the World Series. So, anyways, what was I going to say? I was going to say something. Yeah, all right. So that game happened. Moving on. Unless you have some other thoughts about the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Giants. The Giants are hot garbage. The Steelers looking good in their record, but I mean, I don't know. I'll see them against some good teams. I want to see what kind of chemistry Russell Wilson is able to get going. Maybe he's back. Maybe Russell Wilson's back. I don't know.
There is something to be said about switching from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson, because Justin was playing well, but he doesn't give you those explosive passing plays down the field. Mm-hmm. And Russell just throw it up there, and he's got a really good connection with George Pickens.
Yeah,
and I think that's really going to help the Steelers even when they do play better competition.
Well, I mean, you could have gone either way. You could have. But Mike Tomlin saw Russell Wilson as the best chance they have of winning games, and he's right. So, and it doesn't hurt Justin Fields to be sitting there behind him. So win-win, right? So win-win for the Steelers.
And Justin Fields pretty humble, so you're not disrupting the locker room by
at the time. We were like, yeah, you should let this kid play. Come on, why are you doing that to him? He's won you games. He's gotten you this far.
Yeah, it just seems like you kind of ride the hot hand until if Justin loses, then you just go ahead and switch over to Russ. But I think Mike just wanted those explosive plays. He didn't want to have every single game come down to the wire and, you're winning 20-17.
Yeah. Well, one thing about George Pickens, that touchdown that got taken back, and people are confused about this, about what the rules are. They usually have to tip 2 feet down. He tapped his foot twice. No, it's got to be both feet, not 2 feet, both feet. You can't just tap the 1 foot twice and it counts. Like you're hopping. If you're hopping and go out of bounds, that's still out of bounds.
Your left foot and your right foot need to come down in bounds.
It's not the hokey pokey. Okay, you don't put your left foot in, your left foot out, your left foot in. It doesn't work that way. You don't turn it all about. This is not what it's all about. It's called left foot, right foot. Both have to be down, or some, the part of your body, your butt, your whatever. You know the rules. I don't know why everybody is so confused by this.
I don't know either. This has been the rule for as long. It's the one consistent part of the catch rule that has made sense and been the rule this whole time.
I don't know which one was. I didn't see the play. I read about it. I don't know which one was confused. Was it Troy Aikman? Was it Joe Buck? Could have been either. Could have been both.
I didn't hear the game. I was at a bar watching it, so I don't know who was confused.
But it wasn't just them. It was also people online, people on social media saying, like NFL people, Hall of Famers, saying like, what? I can't believe this didn't come up in a meeting or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what was confusing about it.
Nothing is more confusing than the next headline I'm about to read. If you're driving, you might want to turn the radio off for a couple of seconds, because what I'm about to say could be so confusing, could cause you to wreck your car.
Okay.
You have been properly warned. Headline: Daniel Jones remains the Giant quarterback. What? How can they keep starting him?
That's not confusing at all. Well, I think the answer is pretty clear.
Oh, they're tanking.
No. I wish they were that smart. They don't have any other options better than Daniel Jones.
Who's their backup?
Drew Lock.
Dear God.
And then you got Tommy Cutlets behind him.
Put him in. He was very popular.
That's it. He wasn't good though. They weren't winning more games.
People liked him.
Was just more popular.
No, at least you got that going for you. Swazman says, "Hey Jeffrey, last year I was 7-7. I won the championship in Fantasy Football League 2 because I added Jordan Love in Week 10. This year I'm adding Matthew Stafford to replace C.J. Stroud. Right now I am 4-4 and still in the playoff hunt." Okay.
Appreciate the breakdown there of your team, and Stafford's in a good spot with both of his weapons coming back.
Quite a few people won their leagues being 7-7. I mean, you just got to make the playoffs. After that, man, I'll tell you what, by the end of the season, no matter how you draft it, the people who are winning are the people who are good at the waiver wire. That is just the facts. Jonesy says, Kelsey brought up a good point. So if you catch a ball in the middle of the field and hop on 1 foot for 30 yards, it's technically not a catch. I know.
Sure. It's just also an improbable sequence of events that you would be able to hop 30 yards up the field.
But it is a catch, Jonesy. Here's why. If you hop on 1 foot for 30 yards, once you fall over and another body part hits the ground, it's a catch. But if you hop on 1 foot and fall out of bounds, it's not a catch.
So you would have to do that. You would have to hop the 30 yards, the length of the field,
and fall down on like your ass cheek or something, or just fall down. Once it hits the second body part, you're fine.
So why would that happen?
Why are you listening to a center? Yes, this center is now tied with his brother for People's Sexiest Podcasters, which is an award they made up just so they can get Taylor Swift fans to buy the damn magazine.
Well, yeah.
But still, Jason Kelsey, it was a good thought process, but you forget you're going to go down, right? You got to be down. The only thing I wonder is if you hop on that 1 foot into the end zone, the ball crosses the plane. Does it matter if the other foot comes down?
That's interesting.
Like if you stand there on 1 foot, yay!
Is it a touchdown once the ball breaks the plane that you are clearly in possession of the football?
This is some dumb crap that would never happen, by the way.
Yeah, like that's the reason why I don't care that he brought it up. It's not a good point to me because it's an interesting
thought process.
Yeah, like it's a good thought experiment to go, does this rule make sense if you take it to the absolute extreme? But you don't make rules for the absolute extreme thing that will not happen.
But yeah, Jonesy, thanks for sharing that. It's an interesting thought process, but I think I'm right. If you get tackled after hopping on 1 foot, the other body part that will touch the ground, whether it's from the front of you or the back of you, there is another body part that will touch the ground, completes that catch.
Yeah.
Falling out of bounds means it was incomplete because you didn't have the other body part or foot to make that work. Because, you know, a body part or feet are just as good, right? That's the rule.
Yeah.
That's what they say. Swave Dave says, I picked up Laporta in the beginning and was getting no points. I was able to grab Kraft before someone else. And, he's been good. Now I think he says he's switching between the two. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'll do with I've got Cade Otton and I got Pitts. And if Cade Otton is doing better than somebody I've got on the bench for a flex spot, I'll do what I did this last week. I'll play them both. Damn near one. Don't even want to talk about it. Cardinal Art says Freddie Freeman is torching the. We're not talking about this. We're not talking about this. It'll probably end tonight, but we're not talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Just don't care. 888-368-1580. This is what I care about. You ready for what I care about? This is what I care about.
All right.
So do you like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Communists.
I can't imagine that.
And even they lie about it.
It's peanut butter and it's jelly. There's nothing to dislike.
You ever have an Uncrustable?
No.
I like the crust, so, you know, and I don't want to buy a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that was made in a factory, personally.
Yeah.
But this Uncrustables thing turns out very popular with football players.
Huh.
In fact, NFL players eat at least 80,000 Uncrustables a year. Not each.
Still,
But
even as a total, that's a lot.
Yeah, and who was this that was talking about? Jeff Saturday was saying, like, yeah, we were scooping and scoring, and we were grabbing 5 or 6 Uncrustables at a time. So this goes all the way back to then.
Damn.
The Uncrustables were invented in the 90s by a football player and his wife. And, they're saying that they got stats. 80,000 Uncrustables a year in the NFL, including games, practices, and training camps. And that number of sandwiches would cover more than 18 yards of a football field. And in breakdown by team, the Denver Broncos ate the most, 7,000 sandwiches a week.
A week?
Seahawks were in second place, distant, with 3,200. Jaguars, 3,150. Dolphins, 3,000. The least amount of Uncrustables, and it might not be a coincidence that these teams aren't doing well, the Bengals and the Saints. Hardly any. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess the NFL loves it. Some peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You know why? It's quick, it's easy, it's high protein.
Yeah, and you can just kind of pop it in your mouth and go. The thing that I think is interesting, the reason why I thought 80,000 was a big number is because there are 1,696 active NFL players. They're eating 80,000 Uncrustables combined. Like, that's still a lot. That is still a lot over the course of a season.
I think it's awesome. I mean, that's
cool.
Very wholesome, and it's good. We can relate. And you know how they developed it? They're like, hey, how about we had crustless peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And they're like, well, how do we get the crust off quick with the machine? So they experimented and they used this glass thing, and they're like, oh my God, you know what happens there? Not only does it cut the crust off, but it like squishes the outside edge. You know, it makes a crimp, that is part of the Uncrustable. And they're like, yeah, that's even better. That's good stuff. So it was a football player and his wife, and the rest is history. I don't know. Maybe I should try them. Has anybody had the Uncrustables? Anybody listening? Tell me if they're any good. Latina Leprechaun says, cue the text from Moist One. Keon, you just said you pop it in your mouth and you go.
I know what I said.
Yeah, don't help Moist One, Latina.
Because sometimes he doesn't really care enough to respond to it. But now that you said it, I imagine there'll be one incoming.
Here's what he said. I had an Uncrustable last night. I'm very lonely. Fifth letter says, they are effing amazing. Strawberry one is bomb. All right, I'm going to have to go get some.
Yeah, good to know.
Gonna have to try him. Jonesy wants to know, Deontay Johnson, do I trade him now that he's on the Ravens? Sounds dumb, but I'm 7-1. I got depth. People are super high on Johnson. Now he's a Raven. but it's a run-heavy team with lots of playmakers. All right, you could try. I mean, I don't know which league you're in, but
I mean, now is the time.
Yeah,
he's
sell high.
a guy that people actually want. So go for it.
Bite Micah Bob says, I eat about 20 Uncrustables a week. They're addictive. All right.
Oh,
are they expensive? I don't know.
That's a lot of Uncrustables.
Big George says, when darkness turns to light, it ends tonight. It ends tonight. Just a little insight. We'll make this right. It's too late to fight. It ends tonight. It ends tonight.
Are you talking about the World Series or
is that wait a second? Is that I feel like that's Edgar Allan Poe. Is that what that? I don't know what that. Big George just made it weird. Tiger Paws says Pickens not picking. The Pickens thing last night cost me my game. He says, I thought I was safe, and there was only 4-point difference going into Monday night game. It was Pickens against the other team's kicker, right? And Uncrustables are good, especially when they're cold out of the fridge. It's good to hear from you, Tiger Paws. Sorry you lost your game, but I lost the game in a worst way. I was up by 40 points. And then CeeDee Lamb. He burned in hell, CeeDee Lamb.
Happened. Also, that was from the song It Ends Tonight by the All American Rejects, which I knew the answer to, but I don't know. It just didn't occur to me.
I don't even know which song that is. I only know a couple songs by those guys.
Yeah, the two really big ones.
Yeah, but that's not one of them.
No.
Okay.
No. Move Along and Dirty Little Secret, I think, are the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, George. Appreciate you bringing the show to a complete and stunning halt. I started it that way. Now you're going to end it that way, huh? All right. That's fine. All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We've got On This Date in Big George's sports history and whatever else we can do. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
Radical Ruben Gallego can't be trusted. Gallego's inflation-causing policies have made it impossible for Arizona's families to get by.
Gallego's one of the most far-left people in Congress. He's voted with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris 100% of the time.
Even worse, Gallego is an open borders Democrat who voted to allow illegal immigrants to vote in our elections. Radical Ruben Gallego is just too far left for Arizona. Carrie Lake is running for U.S. Senate to be a voice for all Arizonans. She's endorsed by both President Donald Trump and Governor Doug Ducey.
With Carrie fighting for Arizona in the Senate, we will make America great again.
Carrie Lake will fight to lower costs for Arizona's families, eliminate taxes on tips and Social Security, and will secure our southern border. The choice is clear. Vote Carrie Lake for Senate.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Carrie Lake for Senate.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-791-1313. That's 800-791-1313.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert. 4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
The GCU men's basketball squad is coming off their winningest season in 35 years, their third trip to the NCAA tournament in 4 years, and their first ever NCAA tournament victory. Returning 4 of their 5 starters in Ray Harrison, Colin Moore, Duke Brennan, and reigning WAC Player of the Year, Tyon Grant Foster, the Lopes look to defend their WAC titles and make a run to the Sweet 16. With a non-conference slate, including Stanford, Georgia, and crosstown rival Arizona State, you won't want to miss a moment of the action. So join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on the home of the Lopes, 1580 The Fanatic. Lopes up.
My name is Mary Grace. There are a few misconceptions about Alzheimer's. It's not just memory loss. It's the loss of mobility, the risk of falling.
For more information, contact the Alzheimer's Association at alz.org. Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
It's the sound of the fight songs, the excitement of the rivalries. It's the unbelievable upsets. It's the Heisman hopefuls. It's the national rankings. College football is coming. Listen for it on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
It's Dave Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Micah Bob says you can buy Uncrustables at Costco in a big box. I don't want to try them and have a big box sitting there. I want to try a couple, see if I like them. Then maybe I'll care about the big box.
Yeah, I think they have the normal size ones at Walmart. But
I guess we have to talk about Mookie Betts getting mugged in New York, right? I guess we have to talk about that. That just happened. Mookie Betts went up and it looks like he caught the ball and it was going over the fence. And a couple of New York fans grabbed his arm, grabbed his glove, and pulled the ball out of his glove and threw it back. And it happened way faster than the slow motion video shows. But these guys should be ejected. That is, you're not allowed to do that.
That's interference. Yeah.
No, it's assault. You grabbed his arm and you grabbed his glove, then you grab the ball. If you make a play on the ball and you're sitting there as a fan, that's fine. Yeah, but if he sticks his glove up and you are physically grabbing it, that is assault. I think these guys should be ejected.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what happens. You go to New York City, you get mugged. And so Freddie Freeman, I'm sorry, not Freddie Freeman, but Mookie is no different than anyone else, I guess.
Imagine, though, just of all the places to get mugged, you're actually at the game, on the field, playing the game.
Still not surprised. I mean, it's New York City.
It is
right?
New York. Yeah, it's New York, New York.
Hamilton Porter says strawberry over grape Uncrustables always. Yeah, I'm getting that idea. I mean, I don't have grape jelly at home. I got strawberry jam. So I'm down with that, man. I get it. I absolutely get it, but I'd like to try them. I don't want to buy a box of 100 before,
before deciding that you were better off just making your own sandwiches.
Big George says they just came out with a chocolate hazelnut one. Tastes like Nutella, and the bread is the softest bread you've ever had. New raspberry one's good too. Wow, George is just all in on the Uncrustables.
Yeah, didn't realize.
I just want to have. I mean, are they big? How many do I need? You know what I'm saying? You know?
I mean, I've never had them, so I can't tell you.
Moist One says, you should have been sold at comes in a big box. Nobody wants a big box. Come on, Moist One. Oh, boy. Did you see what they're doing? I don't know. Did you watch any of the, remember last season, they Toy Story the game?
Yeah,
it was badly done.
The Disney Plus Toy Story stream.
Yeah, it was a fun idea, but it just was clunky. It wasn't very good. They didn't. I mean, it was clunky. That's the best way I can put it. Well, they're going to try again, but this time they're going to do it with the Simpsons. It'll be the Simpsons. Now that could be interesting. They're going to use some animated versions of Mina Kimes, Dan Orlovsky, and Drew Carter. And some of the show's voice actors will be involved. And, they're going to do unto this game what they did unto the last one with the Toy Story.
I imagine it'll probably still look pretty clunky because you're just doing motion capture with a bunch of participants who aren't doing this for you. They're doing it incidentally.
This is now a Monday Night Football game. Not a Sunday morning. I think last time they did
it was one of the London games.
It was on the London games, right? So they were like, let's do this out of the way and safe. This one here
is Jags and somebody I can't remember. So they must be more confident in it this year.
Well, who are the teams in this? Let's see here. It's Cowboys, Bengals.
Again, another idea when scheduled seemed better at the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to tune in just to see how it goes, but I don't think I'm going to care to watch the whole thing. Harvey Putzwadler says, I bet you can buy Uncrustables at a Quick Trip instead of a big old box of them. But will they be fresh?
I mean, they're in a package already. What's fresh look like in that case?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure these things are loaded with preservatives. When I can go into my pantry, grab some bread, some peanut butter and jelly, and just make my own.
Yeah, and some people just like them out the fridge. So, I mean, like, what does fresh even look like with an Uncrustable?
George says, no, they're pretty small. Just go to Albertsons or Safeway, get the 4-pack, see which flavor you like. I can eat 2 of them in one sitting. Most annoying thing about these is you need to set them out of the freezer 45 minutes before you eat them so they can thaw. Don't microwave them. No microwave. I didn't know there were rules.
I didn't know there were rules either. I just feel like I could just make a sandwich faster than what that is. But
do they come frozen?
I think so, because I've seen them in the freezer aisle at the Walmart. Yeah,
that seems now it's starting to sound nasty.
So, can someone who is watching more hockey than me this season tell me if are the Rangers and the Capitals just like this now? The second period just started, and 7 goals have been scored between the two teams. And I'm trying to understand what the hell it is.
Of course, the game, not just now in the second period.
Not just now in the second period, though. Since the second period has started, I just watched the Caps score a goal, and then 30 seconds later, literally, the Rangers also scored.
Literally. All right. Well, yeah, text in. Let us know. 888-368-1580. Right now, let's get this going. It is time for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1960, in his first professional fight, Cassius Clay beat Tony Hunsaker in the 6th round at Louisville, Kentucky. In 1964, after befriending Malcolm X, Cassius Clay announced he would then be called Cassius X, renouncing his birth name as a slave name. Elijah Muhammad, leader of the Nation of Islam, said, "How about Muhammad Ali?" And he's like, "Okay." That's a true story.
It's like that's not really
a
name.
Would you rather have a name that means beloved of God and than a letter? And he's like, actually, that sounds pretty good. And so that's what he did. Also, and the rest is history.
It's a little diluted. One X, fine. Two guys named X.
Yeah, you already got them.
What are you doing a thing now?
Yeah, like, you're not related unless you've been adopted. Which now that makes sense. You've been adopted.
They were friends though, so that didn't.
You can't adopt your friends.
No.
So here are some stats. In the 2024 season, there have been 67 games decided by 7 points or less. That is the most ever through a week 8. So what does that mean? You better have a good kicker. You got to have a good kicker. The other thing is NFL teams have succeeded on just 31% of 2-point conversion attempts this season. So maybe don't do that unless you really have to.
Yeah, and this is what people tried to tell the analytics guys forever, because the analytics guys would go, look, the numbers say that if you go for 2, it's about 50-50. So why wouldn't you go for 2 more often? Well, if you increase the number of times you go for 2 and teams prepare for it and plan for you to go for 2 more often, that number is obviously not going to be converted at the same rate. And so now that's what we're seeing. But
why is it different now? It was 50-50 before. It was about 50-50. What happened?
It was 50-50 before, but it was 50-50 when teams weren't planning on going for 2 as often. Now, because we're all planning for going for 2, guess what? I have to spend a significant part of my practices going over. When they go for 2, this is what we're running. This is what, how we're defending this. So teams are more prepared for that scenario because it's been happening more often.
Well, and I have another theory. Brian Daboll is messing up the bell curve.
Okay, that's also that's
he's at 0% achievement on the 2-point conversion.
That 2-point conversion play was dumb. It sucked so bad. It was just a screen pass that Daniel Jones threw behind the running back. Look, it was just nothing about that worked.
Oh, by the way, somebody asked me if Kittle wore his anti-cowboy shirt with the swear words, the F Dallas t-shirt. He did. He just didn't show it.
Yeah, because he didn't want to get fined again.
I don't think that was even it. I think he doesn't mind the fine. I think he just forgot. I think he put it on like, yeah, F Dallas had such a good game. He wasn't thinking about it. He was just happy and celebrating and whatever. He didn't show it, but Nick Bosa showed his hat, and he's in trouble for it. The Make America Great Again hat. It's not about, which political party. It's just you're not supposed to do that for any party.
Yeah.
Wear something like that. So he's probably going to get fined for poking in and wearing that hat on that interview. I think you're not even allowed to wear it in the stadium because they know that people are taking pictures and stuff.
Yeah, it's just that also like if you're gonna run out Colin Kaepernick for being political in in the game of football where people want these things separated, you're gonna have to keep that same energy for Nick.
It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Moist One says, "Speak for yourself. The bigger the box, the bigger the present."
You're right. Speak for yourself. Do that for you.
He also says, "Well, great. Now I'm craving a PB&J ravioli." Yeah, that's what those Uncrustables are.
Oh,
aren't
that's
they?
true. They do look like that. Oh no, I'll never be able to unsee that now.
There you go. Just ruined it. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's the Daily Blender here on 15.